partir. Merci de partir maintenant.
Oui, bah, je suis en train de partir. Par contre, si tu m'attaques, je vais revenir.
Je tue votre bouton, juste voilà, c'était un avertissement. C'est écrit dans le livre blanc, le bouton.
Of course, I didn't have my microphone active. Hello, Loca Loga. Oh, Logo Loca. Hello, guys. So, let me just quickly put in a window capture. And there we go. Perfect. So, what I want to do quickly is get everything set up here and just do a little bit of a noob cast to make sure, not the pink screen again. This time I'm gonna fix it, I promise. Okay, there we go. So, there we go. I'll make myself extra tiny, eh? Give me 1 second. It's a tiny face. Okay, we're not obstructing any game noises here. All right, so what I really want to do today is be able to do a little bit of a noob cast and just explain some things like I usually want to. And I realize now I might need to switch the screens. Give me 1 second. Okay, and OBS on this side. And this side. Okay, great. So, the goal of today is, unfortunately, now the game is really big because this is a professional production and this is how things look here. Very nice. Alright, so what I'm doing here today is just going to be talking through some of the parts of the games that people might be watching. Now, what's very important is understanding each of these civilizations and the matchups and where they are in the game. So right now, Louis and Marine Lord are playing against one another and they are 2-2 in the series. Now, usually when we look at the top bar, we can then see, hey, there's potentially some bits of information there at the top, where 37 to 38 villages seem pretty even, right? But with the military as well, you can see 40 to 32. Now, usually that's a pretty good indicator, and that gives us a lot of information about what the situation is between these two. Looking at the resources as well, it looks like both of these guys are thinking about going castle. But now, Louis is the one who's being very, very aggressive here, because Byzantines is a civilization that absolutely loves to be able to sit back and get their resources and just make a lot more units than you can make. So, Marine Lord in this case, he wants to be given time. He's also gone for archers, which is something we don't usually see from Byzantines because they usually bank on the longbows. But Marine Lord knows he needs to make a plan to be able to do something about the huge amount of units that Mongols can put out. Now, Louis is standing here around the base. He's ready to age up, and we're going to see him aging up with the Kurultai. Now, the Kurultai is a landmark that is used when you are being quite aggressive. It heals your units, and I believe it also gives them some attack damage. Oh, yes, it should be able to do that. While Marine Lord, on the other hand, he needs a few more seconds to click it up. He's going for the Golden Horn Tower. Now, this tells us that Marine Lord, he wants those free units to keep on coming. But this is a map with very limited gold. As we just heard that gold running out, he only has 290 gold in the bank. And he needs to find a way to get more gold. So now, those villagers are going out on food because they know if they step out of this base, they are going to be in danger. Now, based on what we see here, Marine Lord aging up with 12 villagers means that he knows that this is time sensitive. Both of these age ups are going to come through at the same time. And as we can see, the deer stones, this is the landmark from the Mongols. This one is moved forward. Now, the reason they moved this bad boy forward is because you want to make sure that your deer stones is giving movement speed to your units. So right now, the deer stones is usually a landmark we used to see in people's bases, but he is very aggressive very quickly. Now Marine Lord, as we can see, he's instantly getting his upgrades. He's going to get the mercenary upgrades first, as well as the archers, because he just has the most of those, and they are going to be the most important. Now, the 2 units he decides to make here are 2 cataphracts. He has a market there at the back to try and get gold, because he knows if he moves out, he's going to die. So he cannot just go out and get gold. He needs to find a way to get gold there from behind. So now with the Kurultai being this far forward, this is going to be very scary for Marine Lord, at least for the first while. We see the Khan firing an arrow, and usually those arrows do have different powers. In this case, I have no idea which arrows just got blown, so your guess is as good as mine, but you can see the trades are already starting to happen. This is archer against archer, but the difference is these archers from Louis, they can heal up. The cataphract does charge in, but he quickly gets taken down. And you can see with the units from Marine Lord, he is already losing so much. So now the military numbers tell us a very different story. And Marine Lord realizes he is in for some trouble. The problem is he doesn't have access to gold. He doesn't have access to a lot of things here, and he goes for horsemen instead. So he goes for horsemen because horsemen in this scenario is a pretty good move and a pretty safe move against the composition of Louis. But Louis at the same time, he's going for men-at-arms. And men-at-arms are going to need to be done a lot of damage to before they actually go down. We now see him trying to get these landmarks in position again. But this is most likely going to be Marine Lord's time where he gets to go out on the gold if he chooses to. Because now the army has moved to the left side and it puts it in a different position and not as easy to deny the gold when your army is this far out. But we do see that Marine Lord is out here on the deer trying to get every bit of food he can afford. Now another set of villagers moving out to this side, and this is going to be a very dangerous position to be in. Because with Marine Lord moving out here, he's opening himself up to being in a scenario where he's going to get raided. And when you are facing your opponent that is standing right in front of you like this, it is pretty scary. And you see Louis doing exactly that. Louis is circling him. He's making sure he's standing there ready to collapse on him. So with these villagers standing at the front, we do see some horsemen moving forward. But Marine Lord needs to be careful. He tries to kite back. We see the villagers also moving back because they know that this is a very dangerous position to be in. The archers are trying to focus down the others. So the horses now trying to get onto the back line as well. And the men-at-arms are mostly being ignored. The villagers are back on the gold because Marine Lord knows this is the only chance he's going to have to get this gold. Again, pulling them back, but Marine Lord's army is starting to get quite thin. And that's why he taps out here. So, in most of the cases here, it does look pretty scary, depending on, the graph. You can see it was quite strong here for Louis. And when he did age up, you could quickly see a little bit of a jump here. He was able to get gold, so because of that, he's just able to continue making units. But while we wait for the next game to start, and I'll keep an eye on the EGC stream so that we don't fall behind, I want to look a little bit at the early game to explain what may have gone right or what may have gone wrong. So, we're going to quickly see. I see the next one is going to be Carmel that they're playing. And this is going to mean that it's, again, a map with very limited resources, especially when it comes to the gold. So, I just want to quickly take a look at what happened in the early stages of the game. And just talk you guys through it. So, because we are watching the little bit of a, what is that thing called? We're watching the historic game. We're going to do it on 2 speed so that we can see what actually happened here. Marine Lord playing Byzantines. He's a civilization that is very open to being harassed and raided, especially in the early stages of the game. This is why Louis was very aggressive with this. He's moving forward because most likely he spotted the front berries. So when you are playing against an opponent that has a forward berries, it's very easy to try and do some damage. So for Louis, it was a very important move to be able to just go on out and try to shut down access to those berries. Hi guys. So just so you guys know, this one I do is you can ask questions, and I just started a little bit later because I want you guys to be able to understand what's going on if you are not too sure. So Louis now, he brings home the sheep. and he keeps making spearmen. We see a villager going forward as well, which just means that he's going to put himself in a position where he's going to try and shut down access to the berries. Now, Marine Lord does have a back berries as well, but with this tower, he's going to be able to deny all those front berries that you want access to when you are the Byzantines. Now, Louis makes 5 spearmen, and he moves forward. Now, 5, I believe, because, you know, with 5 spearmen, you can do quite a bit of damage, but you could also shut down most of what your opponent plans to do. And I do see the next game is going to start in 4.5 minutes. So, in this position, Louis is already cutting off a very important resource. And on a map like this, where gold is very limited, you only have these small golden pits. That just allows you to keep your opponent in his base, and he's not going to be confident enough to move out because he's going to be stuck dealing with that tower, already cutting off a lot of those berries. So from here on out, we see Marine Lord getting wheelbarrow. He's trying to play a normal eco game. But Deerstones is coming out from Louis. Marine Lord is now focused on getting a lot of food. He's got a bit on gold here, which means that he's going to be able to gather the resources he needs to get more and more upgrades. But at the same time, this can be a slippery slope because you want to make as many units as possible, and what Marine Lord does is he wants to make sure that he doesn't get raided here. So the archery range coming on out here from Louis just means it was constant aggression, and Marine Lord goes on to a lot of stone here. Now, going on to stone for Byzantines is pretty normal, but the reason this is so risky is because you're spending a lot of time getting enough stone to get your cisterns up and running. But at the same time, you can very, very quickly invest too much and then struggle to actually have enough resources for this. That scout almost went down. But here, we are going to go and jump back pretty soon to the next game, which is starting in 3 minutes. Now, Marine Lord here, as we can see, he goes for Limitanei. Now, Limitanei is a pretty standard move when you are playing against the tower in your base. Now, as we know, there was a tower there at the front. Hello, Aphelios. So, there's a tower there at the front, and you want to burn this down. But this tower, it is going to take a lot of investment. And the thing is, Louis knows this. Instantly, he's going to make a lot of archers because he knows I can just go and kill the Limitanei. Looks like not many people are here. Yeah, I only got here. I only started like a few minutes ago. And I just wanted to do a little bit of a cast of a game or two because I want to get some content for YouTube. So yes. But anyway, so from here on out, it just snowballed. But let's quickly go to the live broadcast so we can see exactly what's happening here. So, give me 1 second. I just need to open up my OBS and keep an eye on all of these. Okay, so what do we want to see and what can we see on this draft? So what's happening here right now is we have Carmel. This is going to be Rus against Delhi. Now, Delhi is a civilization that does pretty well against Rus when they are trying to get all this deer on the map. Carmel is a pretty good Rus map. And when I say pretty good, it's amazing. But the fact that he took Delhi here is just so because he knew that Rus was coming. So Marine Lord probably got one of the strongest civilizations on this map. But Delhi has a chance because Delhi, they make a lot of Ghazi raiders and they can quickly shut down you trying to get resources from those professional scouts. So with Delhi at the moment having a 0% win rate, as we can see here in Twitch chat, it doesn't mean it's a bad civilization. It's not a great civilization. Don't get me wrong. It's not doing too well. But it is definitely putting you in a position where you can contest the professional scouts. And explain French on Enlightened Horizon. So I actually did not see what went down here. But French is a interesting choice. I cannot give you an answer, Felios. This might have been a throwaway pick. This might have been one of those where you're like, ugh, he's gonna pick a pretty good civ on this. I might as well just give him French. And then he gave him French. Because this is a best of 7, right? So, with a best of 7, you do have to think about matchups a lot more. And a House of Lancaster on Enlightened Horizon is a pretty good civilization. So I would not be surprised if that was Louis' thought process. But before we go, let me just quickly get more water so we can talk through this thing. Okay, cool. So, let us get into the Noob Cast and explain things like you guys are all bronze. So, what we see over here now, Louis opening up, as usual, Delhi, they go for the building that produces scholars early on. Because you don't want to produce scholars, you want to start getting your upgrades. Delhi gets all their upgrades for free, so this does make it a little bit easier for them to, you know, be great, because they're a great civilization with free upgrades, but they are struggling in the current meta. I call them great, but I know a lot of people disagree. Now, Marine Lord here, he goes out on the deer instantly. He doesn't kill it in a prime position, so the deer did run away a little bit. And this kind of puts him in a weird spot. He's getting a lot of food pretty quickly. But he does... Ooh, he is pop-capped. Oh, he forgot to build a house! Marine Lord, currently, you can see him building a house with 3 villagers. He didn't get his second scout out in time because of the house. It's very easy to forget this on Rus. So now we are, again, on a map that has small golds. So Delhi, they do pretty well without gold because all their upgrades are free. And usually they make a play on sacred sites. But currently, this is a map that only has 2 sacred sites. So, as we can see, with that, it's not going to be the same amount of gold income for a Delhi player. Marine Lord, on the other hand, with Rus, he's not going to touch gold for a while, because Rus, from those hunting cabins, those 2 little things on the woodlines, they are producing gold as the time goes on. So passively getting gold, and he gets gold from gathering all of the meat on the map. Now, what we do want to look at the early stages of the game is ensuring that the sheep count is quite clear. Because as we now can see, these guys, Marine Lord only having 2 scouts, he is able to scout a little bit more of the map. But he also needs to make sure that he does not die to the Delhi aggression. Now, Delhi makes a lot of Ghazi raiders really quickly, especially when you can garrison your scholar, which means put your scholar inside the building, and then they produce Ghazi raiders pretty quickly. Now, the Golden Gate is coming up with 4 villagers, as is pretty standard, because he wants to be able to get pro scouts right after. Now, those 2 hunting cabins, he put it inside the TC range, and this is so important on this map, because with those 2 hunting cabins, this is going to ensure that the Ghazi raiders don't actually have the opportunity to do any damage to them. Because usually now, Louis would look for one of those hunting cabins to, you know, just attack with the scout. Come with the Ghazi raiders, attack. Just keep him on his toes so that he can be a little bit aggressive. But that's not going to be too easy when they're both under the TC. So this is usually where the pro players find damage in the early stages of the game. I'm glad to hear that, Aphelios. Thank you. Now, what we can see here, we can now see that Tower of Victory is the choice. Now, this is a pretty interesting choice, because Tower of Victory is a landmark that doesn't produce the scholars that we usually see. Tower of Victory is a landmark that was very popular about 2 seasons ago. Now, why this changed is because people enjoy having all those cheap scholars, but Tower of Victory gives your units a little bit of something special. I believe your infantry get extra attack speed. So, that's quite important here when you are trying to do damage to your opponent early on. So, yeah, now I can talk to you guys directly. Now, with the Tower of Victory here, as they are showing now, ooh, 20%. So 20% attack speed on the infantry. This is going to tell us that Louis wants to be aggressive, super aggressive. He's not going to let Marine Lord just sit back and get pro scouts and just get everything he wants. You can now see Marine Lord going to 300 gold. This is about the time where he clicks this up. Hello, T-West. We're doing the Noob Cast here. We just went live. It's a good time, for us at least. So, now that he gets professional scouts, Delhi, on the other hand, is already on 150 wood. This means, usually, it means he gets the stable first. But I want you guys to see, he first put down the blacksmith. So he puts down the blacksmith first because it's very important to start those military upgrades as quickly as possible when you need to do damage and you don't want to get your units too damaged up. So with that, he's actually giving Marine Lord time to get his professional scouts because he knows professional scouts, it takes a while. I don't actually need to be out on the map with a Ghazi Raider because I cannot do any damage. So that is basically what is happening now. Marine Lord is now investing into scouts. He is almost done with professional scouts, but the first Ghazi Raider is currently being built by Louis. So Louis now has a Ghazi Raider, but a lot later than we usually see from Delhi. Because Ghazi Raiders is sometimes something you get instantly on the map, but he knows it's more important for me to get my blacksmith and get my upgrades before I actually try and shut this down. Now the scouts are busy being very professional, picking up these deer, but let's go see if the Ghazi Raiders are actually going to be able to do something about this. Only 2 Ghazi Raiders on the field right now, and Marine Lord is making spears, which is very smart. To not be greedy is going to be key for him. But Louis, on the other hand, he says, I know you're going to be making units, so I will be making some too. Now, most players, they try to go for a naked pro scout, which means they don't make any units at all. And they just try to age up and start to make things after that. But the thing is, this can be pretty risky. Now, Louis, he's got 3 Ghazi Raiders, and he hasn't stopped any of the pro scouting. So now, those bad boys are going to move out on the map. We see those yellow dots in the right-hand corner. They're moving on out now. He's going to try and find some damage. And he's got an archer to accompany them. That archer is to make sure that the spearmen don't have a field day with his Ghazi Raiders. Now, let's see. Observers are closely watching that archer running back. Ooh, scary. Now the Ghazi Raiders, archers standing back. It looks like Louis wants to make sure that he gets enough units before he starts moving out, giving Marine Lord a little bit of confidence here to just stop making units. But Marine Lord, he's a smart goose. He knows he needs to make units. So now the scholars are moving out. So the moment the scholars stand on the sacred sites, because they got the upgrade to capture sacred sites in feudal, so age 2, they are going to be able to get that little bit of gold for Louis. Now, Marine Lord, he's very smart. He makes a knight, because knights, even though Ghazi Raiders do a little bit of bonus damage to knights, they still struggle against knights when there's enough of them. And Marine Lord knows this. He knows I'm getting a lot of food in feudal. I can use this. So what is he going to do? He's just making more and more units, and he's picking up all the free deer to take back to his base. Louis, on the other hand, he hasn't been able to find any damage just yet. Now, this already is a pretty tough position to be in for Louis, because Marine Lord is, he's a little bit scary when you give him time. And right now, Marine Lord is being given time. But he does see that there are knights on the map. So this is going to tell Louis that I either need to make more spearmen, or I need to get a lot more Ghazis. So let's see what his decision is. Losing a scholar here is actually massive. Because he doesn't have the landmark to produce scholars for cheap, these things are pretty expensive. So he does get one of the sacred sites. But you guys see, Marine Lord, he has been picking up all those deer without being contested at all. Louis just hasn't been able to find the opening for this. But as we can see, Louis is getting more and more upgrades. That military upgrade already finishing for +1 range defense. This means that Louis is going to deal with those archers a little bit better. And Louis now is going for his own professional scouts. So that, as we can see, is going to mean that he's going to... Oh, I keep wanting to show you guys stuff with the mouse, but I'll keep my mouse one side. So with those knights, or with those scouts in queue, he's only got 3 scouts. He's going to be starting to pick up those deer, just so that Marine Lord doesn't get all of them for free. But we do see Louis moving to the north now. He's trying to get a big mass, and then he's going to try to push. Marine Lord, on the other hand, though, he's got a pretty heavy amount of units, and he's ready to age up. Now, Marine Lord does age up here on the bottom. It's not a very juicy high trade house, as we can see, but, you know, it's on the other side of the army. So, usually with this high trade house, you want to put it as close to the TC as possible, because you want to make sure the high trade house is safe. And as they're showing, that would give you a lot more gold if you put the high trade house out there. But it would, again, just be very, very risky, because then you are very far from your TC. And in that case, you can easily get raided. Now, Louis, he's still making units. I don't know if he's ready for this age up, because now the question is Louis gonna go and try to do damage the moment Marine Lord ages up? So Marine Lord is about to hit that age up. Louis has not been very aggressive with those Ghazi raiders. They're running on out, they're gonna see these professional scouts, and they're possibly gonna do a little bit of damage here. But Marine Lord instantly drops the deer, he says it's not worth it, and he pulls back. Now Louis has seen the age up. The Ghazi raiders are diving in a little bit deeper than is safe, and the knights are trying to get a charge off as well. Marine Lord prioritizes the upgrades on the archers and the knights, because he's got 4 knights, and that's a pretty sizable amount when your opponent, when you've just hit castle. Now Louis has stopped spending his food. This tells me that Louis also wants to go castle. Hi Yannick. So, with him wanting to go castle, this is actually pretty scary for Louis, because he's playing against the Rus that has a pretty sizable army. He gets his upgrades faster, because they're not free. You pay for them, they come in faster. And Marine Lord, he is going to go and get relics pretty soon. So, Louis has a very sizable army. He's got the resources for this, and he gets the House of Learning with 34 villagers. This tells you the man wants it, and he wants it now. He knows how important this is. Aging up so quickly, pulling almost his whole economy to try and get this thing up. He does not want to waste a single second. He needs to get this up. He needs to start the upgrades, because Marine Lord is going to attack him the moment this happens, but also the relics. So Louis now is gonna be able to use those. Oh, and instantly he picks up a relic here. 4 relics instantly. You can see that in the bottom corner, where you can see that Louis has picked up 4 of them already. And even if he doesn't get all 4, it's fine. He is basically already just causing a bit of havoc here for Marine Lord, who wants to get a relic of his own. So there's only 1 relic on the side of Marine Lord's map now, which makes this a lot harder for him. So now the Warlock coming on out, he probably won't be getting any takeovers, but it's about causing a little bit of a delay so that Delhi can get all their upgrades. So those scholars being out on the map made this a lot harder. He's already got 1 relic in the base. Next 2 are coming on in, and that feels pretty good for Delhi. Now keep in mind, Rus, again, a really good civilization on this map. An amazing civilization. And as I see Dark Otter has now redeemed the Marine Lord persona, I will do this in the Marine Lord persona. It is, I'm playing against Louis, and he's on Sacred Site Victory, but I've got so many units, so I'm not even a little bit scared. I'm gonna go for the top 1, because Louis, he is focused on getting his upgrades. He's not going to be able to stop me, because I am the best. I am Marine Lord, and it is not even difficult for me, but I'm just going to be making more units. So, thank you, Marine Lord. That's a bit too clear. Okay, sorry. Sorry, guys. Next time. Next time. How's the old dog doing? She's great. She is kicking it at 19. So, not the bucket. She's just kicking ass. Now, Marine Lord, though, he is getting a lot of horses. Now, the reason he does this is because he saw this massive amount of archers. So when you're dealing with archers, especially when your opponent went for the Tower of Victory, you want to shut them down, because they attack just a little bit better, 20% better, in fact. Marine Lord now doesn't want to take a fight just yet. We can see those horses. The numbers are looking scary. And Louis is just not able to match this. He's not able to get that huge amount of army. The Ghazi Raiders now pulling back. An elephant now being made by Louis. So the elephant does make this a little bit harder, because with elephants they're quite difficult to kill. They are quite tanky, of course. But there is now 11 scholars. The question is just, are those 11 scholars going to be able to keep these guys alive? The upgrades are coming in. He's getting everything he can. But the longer this goes, Marine Lord is getting his own upgrades. So this does make it a little bit harder for Louis to justify staying in castle. Now again, his archers are doing great. And I don't know if you guys can hear the sirens. Oh my goodness. But now you can see these archers are going to be attacking a little bit better. The spearmen are standing in position, trying to get through to the horses. And the elephant, he is going straight for the face. You can see the elephant, it does AoE damage. So if he stomps and he attacks the spearman, he does it in a little bit of an area here. The Ghazi Raiders do extend quite far. And as we can see, those archers from Marine Lord are perfectly target firing the spearmen. But both of these guys need to be careful, because this can quickly snowball one way or the other. Marine Lord now on 19 horsemen. And the thing is, that is a single elephant. Elephants are quite expensive, especially when you don't have unlimited food. But Marine Lord, on the other hand, he's floating a lot of resources. He can pivot into so many different units here. But he chooses to go for crossbows, most likely to deal with the elephants. Yes, so elephants do AoE damage, yes. So the elephants, they have a straight attack, but they also do a little bit around them, which makes them a lot harder to kill these days with spearmen. So that's why he's going for more crossbows. How's Rus not banned? I think you have a little bit of you have less bans. We'll go after the draft right after this. Now, this does look like another big fight coming in, but we see those archers with that extra attack speed. They are going to be able to trade a little bit better. That elephant is tanking at the front. It's taking a lot of damage, but the scholars are here to try and heal it up. And you can see the value of that elephant. He's keeping that guy alive. The scholars are trying to heal up as much as they can. But keep in mind, guys, the armies, they do look equal, but a lot of this is scholars too. So more and more archers being queued up because of that attack speed that they have. The extra bit of attack speed from the Delhi. This makes it a little bit better as a composition. But the horses are surrounding. And the problem is, horses, they do struggle. Or the archers do struggle against them. Especially with the fact that Marine Lord got +2 range defense as well. Louis now is quite desperate. He's trying to put the keep up at the front here. The scholars try to keep this elephant alive. But with the elephant going down, Louis does not have much. We can see his food. He's spending every bit of it. And now the villagers are going to start to fall as well. The keep does go up, and he should be able to hold this. But some of the villagers will go down. Actually, 4 villagers total going down now. Now this army does go right under the keep, and he instantly starts upgrading village fortresses. So with this, he's going to be able to produce villagers from that keep. But now Louis has 31 villagers idle. They're just running for their lives. The archers under his TC, they are going to be able to be target fired by this TC, and they will eventually go down. Look at the scouts. The scouts actually picked up the deer under Louis' base. So Delhi has this ability where they can upgrade their keeps to be like TCs. So you actually get to produce villages from those keeps. So they count as a town center. But the upgrade does take a while to get. So that's why it's not such a simple thing to just get upgraded. I'm glad you're learning, Aphelios. Because if you're learning, someone else is learning as well. Now, Marine Lord is looking for damage here. He knows he's done a significant portion of damage. But Louis, he's just making more scholars. Delhi is a weird civilization, yes. They do have a lot of tricks. And, I mean, free upgrades used to be their thing. But they do have a lot of other tricks as well. So, now with him getting... Ooh, Marine Lord is going out on the boar now. This just means that Marine Lord feels comfortable. And you can see, Louis knows. He lost a significant portion of his army. He pulled Delhi out, but he knew that Rus was going to be a pretty hard one to beat. And that just puts us in a position where Marine Lord now, he will need to see... Ooh, what is happening, EGC? What are we doing? Oh! Guys, I think EGC is stuck. Okay, let's quickly go look at the draft, because this is something we can quickly talk through. As we can see, both of these guys, they prioritized banning China. So both players banned China instantly. That's the first thing that they prioritized. Then, afterwards, Marine Lord instantly picked Rus. So you're always going to be able to get one good pick through. And Louis, on the other hand, he went for KT. So both of them getting their priority pick and winning on their priority pick, as we just saw in the game. Now, the next pick for Marine Lord was House of Lancaster. And he won with House of Lancaster. Louis prioritized Japan. And he won with Japan. So these guys, they knew what to prioritize. And from there on out, it just went well. Louis went for the Malians. And Marine Lord went for Ottomans. And this is now where things got a little bit hairy. So, I want to see what the next matchup is. And guys, because this is a best of 7, I believe they get to do a redraft. So, as we can now see, they have Malians versus Byzantines for the next game. So, Malians now gets another showing on this. So, there's no redraft? Yes, there would have to be. Because it has to be a redraft. Because Malians was already played. And Byzantines was already played. So, there is a redraft. In that case, they do have another opportunity to draft. This means that they now just pick new civilizations, and that means... Oh, the civs you lost with? Really? That is such a strange rule. Oh my goodness. Really? No. Aphelios, that's so strange. Oh my gosh, guys, we're learning here by the day. I thought they just redraft. Oh my goodness. Today I got schooled. So, in this matchup, as we can see, it was really tough from this point on. You can see the villagers were desperately trying to get up this keep. And Louis thought that this was going to buy him time. These scholars trying to get this elephant, keep him alive. And he was doing some pretty good trades, but the problem is just Rus was left to get so much food. And from there on out, it becomes quite hard. Now, let's just see. Oh my goodness, that's so weird. Okay, so they do get to play the civs they lost with. That is such an interesting way to do it. I like that. That is a very interesting way to run it. That is much, much better. Repick? Huh, I'm impressed. I'm really impressed. But now Byzantines against Malians, though. What do you guys think about that? I'm gonna go get more water, so I didn't realize how quickly I would just go through the water while casting solo. Be right back. We have 3 minutes until it starts. Who cares? My little dog is laying here on the floor because we have underfloor cooling. And wait, it's 3-3? Oh my god, that is disgusting. I can't believe it. That's pretty amazing that Louis and Marine Lord are this close because, of course, Marine Lord was the favorite. Oh my goodness, that is wild though. You expected a Louis win? Louis is scary though. Louis is very, very scary. I love to see how Louis just completely got out of it. I see old Ben on YouTube says Byzantine is weak till they get off the ground in feudal and Mongols go hard. Yeah, the thing is with Byzantines against Malians, it is a little bit different, right? Malians, they also usually want a little time to get going, but at the same time, you don't want to give Byzantines the opportunity to do this. What I really like to point out here to you guys is that neither of these players have chosen Frisian Marshes or Scandinavia yet. So the reason I think that this is pretty funny is the fact that Scandinavia has been a great map for both of them. And the same with Frisian Marshes. They're really good at what they do on those maps. But That's the problem. Both of them are good on it, and they don't know what the other guy would be able to do in that scenario. So I think that's why they're holding back on it too. AU bids on Scandinavia? Yes, yes. If you're looking at the draft right now, I would say, since KT won already, he won't be able to reuse it. Louis is probably going to go ooh. That's an interesting one. Oh, he already used Mongols, so he can't use it again. So Aeobids would be the answer. So it would be Aeobids. But what would be on the other side? HRE? Yeah, because Marine Lord still has HRE. Aeobid on Scandinavia with a Gambol wing. But this time, we've seen it, right? French on Frisian Marshes. But yeah, French he already lost with. So if that's the case, then he possibly could reuse it. Now that's a good question. What else does he go for? Yeah, French seems to be the answer on Frisian Marshes. It would make a lot of sense. Unless they redraft. Marine Lord saving Abbasid for which? Possibly Scandinavia. I don't know. I think Abbasid may have just been the thing that was left, but they could make sense on Scandinavia. He also didn't win with HRE, so he can pull HRE back. It feels like... I don't know. Order of the Dragon left. Oh. Come on. I say this, and then he's going to pick Order of the Dragon next, right? Okay, let's see. So, 17 seconds to go, ladies and gents. Let's see how these guys do it. Come on, boys. You don't think there's a redraft? I'm actually happy to hear that. It just means that you have to be good with the Civs. That I kind of like that. I don't like the redrafting system at all. Okay, so let's talk about the matchup and the map. So, guys, you need to know what do you need to know? Secret beef. Do I wake up tired? Yes, I was so tired. So, guys. Do you wake up? I wake up tired, Secret Beef. Don't you worry. Okay, guys. Back to the map. Gorge. So, let's go through it like we're all bronze. Basically, this is a map that always spawns with a backwood on both sides. As we can see, there's a backwood. This is a pretty safe wood as well. And it's always in the range of a TC, unless there's a bugged spawn. Now, as we can see, both of these players, they have forward... I would say Marine Lord's gold is a little bit more forward than Louis, and their scouts are about to see one another. Ooh, and now Louis is going to have an advantage about going onto the other side of the map, because he is running in front of Marine Lord's scout now. This could actually be a pretty scary situation for Marine Lord, because if he doesn't get enough sheep, it's fine, but Malians, they are a civilization that need all the food. Louis decides to play it safe, and he does go a little bit closer to his base. So Pro Scout Malians, that is a probable decision here. So Malians has a few choices, and as we can see, he's building all the houses around the pit mine. So with that, he's going to be able to have enough resources to get the Pro Scouts pretty quickly. So with that, I would say that most likely Louis can go Pro Scouts. So as we can see, he's got 10 villages on food, and he had 1 on gold. So when you finish building the houses around the pit mine, you go with that villager and you chop you mine the gold, and then you send it back to the TC and send the villager back onto food. Now, Marine Lord on the other side, let's go look at his berry patch. So he's going to be able to go for the berries towards the back, which means they're a little bit safer than we saw before with getting tower rushed, right? So let's quickly see the Grand Winery coming out with 2 villagers. Interesting. Now, this is something I haven't seen. Getting 2 villagers on the Grand Winery. Oh, never mind. He pulls... No, he doesn't pull anymore. So 2 villagers on the Grand Winery is already a little bit strange, but it does tell me that he wants to prioritize getting wood. Now, this also gives me the information that Marine Lord is going to be very aggressive. Because Malians, again, a civilization that likes to be greedy as well. And with him possibly going pro scouts, but just look at all that sheep. Oh my gosh, that's a happy Malians. So he doesn't do the standard thing with Byzantines initially. He doesn't send the 2 out on stone instantly. He actually does it a little bit later. But now he sends them out on stone, and I'm left with a big question mark on my forehead. And I'm like, what is Marino doing? What is he planning? I don't understand, because I said he was going to be aggressive, right? But now he's decided, I'm going to go for stone and I'm going to get enough cisterns. So this could either be a situation where he wants to get a lot of cisterns, or he wants, oh, I can't believe I'm about to say this, or he wants to go for a second TC. Which is possible with the amount of wood that he has. I would not be surprised if he goes for a second TC. 5 on stone, he's going for a second TC. Okay, so the reason Marine Lord is doing this. Malians usually, they're quite greedy. And they want to be given time to do stuff. But Marine Lord knows he's not going to have units instantly. He's either going to go pro scouts, or he's going to get his whole little eco set up, get some cows going. Marine Lord has the time to go for a second TC. Because a second TC keeps up with the Malian economy, with those cows in the bank. So he does get the first cistern, and now going on to a second TC is going to give him that edge to keep up with Malians. Malians, though, they can be quite scary against the second TC, and you see that Louis also isn't sure about this. He's like, are you seriously going for a second TC? He's getting the scout upgrades instantly, so that scout is going to start doing more damage. Double broadaxe gets researched. So he might have been thinking about going for pro scouts. But when he saw this, he knows he doesn't have the time to go pro scouts. He gets the warrior scouts. The second TC is being put down forward. Now, this is a good spot because those villages are still safely building that second TC in the range of the main TC. So that scout is not going to be able to do any damage. What Louis does is he decides to go for the cows instantly. He's like, let me be greedy. You're going to be greedy. I will be greedy. I'm going to get that little bit of economy to get ahead. So the second TC is going to come on up. And I see, probably that's why Marine Lord goes 2 TC at first game as Ottoman against Mali. Probably, yeah. Marine Lord probably likes the 2 TC build on Byzantines. And we'll see how this pays off. But it is still pretty risky because now Louis is getting more and more warrior scouts. Now, what this means for me is Louis might still go for, I was going to say, he might still go for pro scouts. But no, he's not going for pro scouts. He's just going to go out onto the deer packs. So moving out on the deer here, Marine Lord is going to see this. Because this gives him the information. This gives him the understanding of, are you going to go for pro scouts or not? So, oh, he was being a little bit of a sneaky snake there. But now those scouts are going to be a little bit annoying. They're going to be able to shut down these berries. So running around here at the back is making it a little bit harder to actually get the olive oil that Marine Lord wants. He's not going to be able to do that. And he's slowly adding those cisterns, but he doesn't have any units to shut down Louis on deer. And Louis is being a greedy goose. Like I said, Malians, they love to be a greedy goose. They're getting those cows, they're putting them in the pens, and this kind of puts them in a pretty good spot. Now the mercenary house comes on out. But the thing is, the mercenary house is only good if you have olive oil. And if you guys look at olive oil for Marine Lord, he doesn't have any olive oil. He's got 228. You need at least 400 and something to build any units from the olive oil production building. So if he doesn't go for any contract just yet. He's waiting on it. The cows in the pens looking pretty good. And with the resources per minute, we can see that Louis, he is already getting a little bit of that advantage with the food. Now, he's adding in a few sofas as well. So, with these sofas, this becomes a lot harder. You see these scouts, they're actually trying to attack the Limitanei. Even though spearmen counter scouts, or any horses, these scouts, they heal up pretty fast. So even if they do take a little bit of damage, they're just going to run out and do a little bit more. He goes for the longbowman. So Marine Lord now does get the Western military contract, which means he's going to be able to make the longbows. He just needs a little bit more olive oil. And you can see Louis instantly pulling the scouts back when they get a little bit low, because they're just going to go back and heal back up. So they do try to get a hit off every now and again, and now the olive oil begins. Now he has enough Limited A to protect those units to get the olive oil. Wheelbarrow is now coming out for the villagers too, so Louis' villagers are going to run nice and fast. Now, Marine Lord, he keeps making Limited A. He knows he doesn't need to make anything else just yet. He only sees cavalry. So with the cavalry here, Louis needs to micro perfectly. If he gets impaled by one of those Limited A, he's going to be down a horse. And Louis follows this up with an archery range. Marine Lord now, he's getting his longbows. So he's going to be able to handle those archers, at least for a little while. But more and more sofas are joining the party. And Marine Lord, he's on 2 DC. So he's a pretty happy camper as long as he doesn't take any damage. But usually we have a little timer in our heads. Usually at 11 minutes, you want to do damage to your opponent so that that second TC does not pay off. However, Louis basically has a little bit of an eco boost. He doesn't need to do the damage by 11 minutes. It should be here around 14 minutes when he really has to have damage done to Marine Lord because he's got the cow economy himself. Louis now getting +1 ranged attack. That means he is going to be utilizing those archers quite a bit. So that TC pays off in 6 minutes. Yes, the TC does pay off in 6 minutes after it's placed, but when you're playing against your opponent, you want to do damage to them before that timer. But when you have your own greedy play, like the cows, it's pretty okay to let the TC just pump, at least for a little while. You now see him going out onto the next berries, because we can see that Marine Lord is splitting his Limited A2. But now with the splitting, he is going to be able to be harassed. And Louis is completely focused on the back side here. Louis is focused on ensuring that he does damage to the back berries. He doesn't realize that there are front berries that he has to be concerned about as well, which I'm very surprised about, because Louis is just not scouting completely. But now he gets a little bit of idle time on the villagers, but the units are pulled into position pretty quickly. Now, Marine Lord, he's got his longbows. He's going to be able to afford another set of longbows if he chooses to. But it does look like Marine Lord is going for castle, because he's floating quite a bit of resources and he stopped making units completely. Louis, on the other hand, he's getting his cow boom. He's getting a lot of units, so he's trying to force Marine Lord to make more. So yes, both sides are pretty greedy at this point. Now, Marine Lord is out on the deer because he realizes that, hey, my opponent is just looking at one side. He doesn't realize that I'm actually just out on the map doing whatever I want. Marine Lord now feels confident enough to get every bit of upgrade that he needs. He gets double broadaxe as well, delaying his age up a little bit here, as it uses a bit of food too. But the Grand Fulani Corral is coming on out. Now, the Grand Fulani is going to mean that that second TC also has more time, because that is again going to put him ahead in income, at least. Now, the Golden Horn Tower gets placed here at the front. Now, this does mean that it's a little bit susceptible to raiding, but again, Louis is focused on the front side. He has not been able, or the back side, he hasn't been able to find any damage here. He does spot that Marine Lord is out on the deer, and you can instantly see him sending some units to the other side. Marine Lord aging up at 13 now. He's going to be able to do pretty okay. He forgot to make units with the oil, so quickly queues up another set of longbows, 2 sets of longbows from that mercenary house. So border settlements coming in, which also means that those houses are going to be able to see far. So those houses from the Byzantines, they actually have the ability to see quite far if you do get this upgrade. Now, Marine Lord ages up, and he instantly gets the upgrade for the Spearman. So next up, he's going to get his mercenaries upgraded to And it does look like he is most likely going to start making some cataphracts. Now, getting a lot of sofas for Louis is going to be quite important when you are up against this many longbows. But Marine Lord is ready for this. He's already getting +2 damage against those sofas. So this is going to mean that he can deal with them at least a little bit longer, giving him more and more time for this to pay off. Because he's already on he's on a second TC. He's got a few farms up and running. So he's probably going to keep making those longbows without getting punished. But it doesn't look like he's seeing this. One of the villagers do go down. He should be able to get another one. And 2 villagers, not the biggest loss. Ooh, 3rd going down too. That's a pretty big pickup now. Because 3 villagers, it's not a buttload, but it is enough to feel pretty happy about this trade. Because as we now look at the resources per minute, Marine Lord has more food per minute because he's out here on the map. But now he's going to start losing some units. A Cataphract is out trying to do some damage. He gets a beautiful surround on these villagers. And the sofas are just so quick on their feet. Now already 10 villagers going down. And we do see that Marine Lord has an army. Or not an army. He's got villagers being sent down there. But there's a scout that spots this too. So Louis is going to be ready to be out here and do some damage. The limit in A numbers were not enough to take down these sofas. So the problem is with the sofas being pretty fast, very mobile, they are able to do quite a bit of damage and rotate around the map quickly. Now Louis is so focused on doing damage. You can see some of those cows are not even inside the little cattle ranches. But this does get shut down on Marine Lord's side. And he now has less access to food. Now he does have farms, so he's still okay. But he needs to make a lot of units, and he realizes I might need to do damage myself. These longbows doing good damage against the sofas, but the sofas are getting their special upgrade, which means that they are going to have more armor too. Now the sofa does spot out that villager on the deer, and he's going to get yet another kill and another one. And these villagers out here on the gold, they are going to be in danger. At least for getting picked off. We do see now the second sofa raid again. Louis just constantly on top of Marine Lord, doing some really, really good damage here. Now, both of these players thinking about relics. Villagers now, they want to fight back. And Marine Lord does shut down one of those relics going towards Louis' base. Now, Marine Lord, he's getting 2 more sets of longbows. And the sofas, unfortunately for him, now have that extra bit of armor. And even though he's got a lot of longbows, he still needs to be so careful here. Marlians now getting the poison arrows upgrade as well is going to mean that this is going to be much nicer to pick off. And those longbows now getting picked off in these small chunks, this adds up pretty quickly. So right now, looking at this, even though Marine Lord has been on a second TC for this long, he's lost 15 villagers. His opponent is getting a lot of free food, and he just doesn't have the resources to do this right now. Those longbows are very slow, and they need to run to a point of safety. But this doesn't feel like a very safe place to be, because as we can see, that's just one tower that's supposed to reinforce this. Those archers are kiting backwards. They're trying to focus down the limit in A, because you want to kill the limit in A as quickly as possible. We do see the Cataphracts trying to get a good charge in, and they do a pretty good job. They're quite tanky as well. But the archers, they are trying to back off while focus firing on the limit in A. The problem is, that is the whole army of Marine Lord. He doesn't have anything at the back here to defend, and those sofas are just going to keep looking for more damage. They run past the wood line there at the back, and I wish we would have had a split screen. But these archers are just going to be kiting, and even if they all die, they're at least going to be picking off a lot of these limit in A. The sofas should be able to make their way out, and the rest of this army is going to be able to idle out the economy and pick off a few more villages. You can see now the sofas here at the back, because the whole army was focused there on the army of Louis. Marine Lord is taking some damage on his eco. Now the sofas, they do get to be pulled back here, and you can see that the idle on the eco, it is starting to add up. You look at the resources per minute. Marine Lord now on even wood, but less food than the Malians. With all that farm investment, it doesn't feel that good. Even though, yes, the cattle, they do give the food naturally, But Marine Lord's eco is really starting to suffer here. The longbow numbers are still healthy, but you can see now that these villagers on the gold, they were also struggling. 250 gold per minute. And that's just the problem when you're idling your villagers out like this. The archers now, they have poison arrows. They do pretty well against these cataphracts, but the longbows being at the front, they are going to be taking quite a bit of damage here. Limitanei, quite a lot of them. So of course the sofas don't want to be running right into them. But you can see again, the longbows just standing here at the front a little bit too long. And now, this is going to get harder and harder. As we now see the sofas surrounding, the cataphracts diving into them. But the sofas have that extra bit of armor. They're not on top of the longbows, but the Limitanei numbers are quickly going down. So you can now see those sofas going straight for the longbows, and the longbows are not something Marine Lord can replace anytime soon. He's trying to wall a lot to get the sofas to back off, and they do back off. The longbows will survive a little bit longer, but Marine Lord just can't replace these sofas. So if Anatan beats Beastie, Marine Lord beats Anatan. If Louis beats Marine Lord, does that make Louis the new GOAT and Marine Lord and Beastie washed? Basically, both of them just completely washed. That's a joke, guys. It's fine. That's just Reddit. Reddit is just the moment people lose a game, it's like, it's over for him. Now, I love to see the fact that Louis feels so confident with all these sofas. 33 of them. That he's just able to run into this eco, instantly going for the tower. He doesn't want to fight against these mangonel towers, and he's doing a little bit of damage to it. Now, the sofas are pulling out, but yet again, going in, trying to get this down, and they do get it. Now, with those relics here at the front, they are going to try to survive, but I think Marine Lord just doesn't have the units to stop these. Because 27 sofas, even if they do die, Marine Lord's economy, it looks great in theory, but not if there's a bunch of sofas on top of them. We do hear a mangonel tower just raining hell from above, but there's sofa raids everywhere. We don't have multiple visions on this, as they only seem to be having one observer, but there's a big yellow dot there on the gold too, and those sofas were just too much for Marine Lord to handle. Oh my gosh. Louis looking scary. He did not look scared of that second TC at all. But it must work. If Marine Lord is doing it, it definitely works. That feels pretty wild. Okay, I need to go get more water. Oh my goodness, I didn't think my throat would hurt this much. Oh my god. Malian eco goes burr. Exactly. It's pretty wild, isn't it? Oh my goodness. It's crazy to see how quickly the Malian food just snowballs as long as you can keep spending it. And I like to see that. I love the fact that he's actually spending his food and not just sitting on it. Now, the next one, Scandinavia. HRE versus Aeobids. Ladies and gents. This is going to be a gamba, isn't it? So, the thing is, HRE is a very strong civ, right? HRE is a very strong civ. So, this matchup doesn't make it to... Aeobids has looked good, but also I don't think he's going to be able to go for the Gamba wing if he's up against HRE. Yo, where's Beastie? Oh my god, he's in his room. He's playing League of Legends. There he is. So yeah, any more questions? So I can drink water and read chat. Why isn't he watching? He's watching. He's watching. He's currently, I think he's watching on the one screen while he's playing League of Legends. But playing League, of course. He doesn't actively need to be engaged. Players don't sit like this and watch. Like, multitasking for an RTS player? I mean, yeah. Luckily it's not that hard. Oh my goodness. Now, I am a little bit excited to see how this does play out, but it feels pretty scary here for Marine Lord because it's match point now, right? So they haven't made the lobby yet. So let's see. HRE and Aeobids, which means they only have Abbasid unless they can play civilizations that they've lost with. Wait. No, they can play civs that they've lost with, clearly. So Abbasid and Aeobids, and on Frisian Marshes, he's gonna have French and Abbasid. Ooh, a French Abbasid, maybe Byzantines. I don't know if you can use Byzantines again. Can he use Byzantines again? That was wild. I'm glad to hear that, Mood Swings. Thank you. I'm glad they've helped. I think Crackety looks so nice. Look at him, guys. Guys, Crackety has absolutely... He's found his style. He's just absolutely rocking life right now. I'm so proud of him. You know, it's really hard to find yourself in your... I think in most of your 20s, things are so uncertain. In Twitch chat, guys. He looks so clean. Yeah, right? Right? He just looks like he's got his shit together. I like how I'm blocking Dabston. You guys want to see the mustache? Now, Crackety is my partner. What is Dabston doing here? Get away from my casting partner, dude. Dude? Okay. You didn't figure out your life until when in your 30s? I mean, I'm in my 30s and I haven't figured it out yet. I'm still waiting for the adulthood to kick in. You know, it's pretty crazy. You get to this point in your life where you see your parents and you're like... My parents had kids by my age. And even if they did have kids, they didn't know what they were doing. Oh my god, I thought they had their shit together. They did not. You're still in your early 20s? Aphelios, how old are you? 22? 21? 25 to 35 is all the same. What do you mean, Secret Beef? I'm a completely different person from who I was at 25. Hot damn. Very different. We're all faking it until we make it. Maybe. Beastie and I have furniture in our house now. We'll give you guys an apartment tour probably this week. So, it's gonna be nice. We wanna do it with the apartment cup. But next year. Next year's the apartment cup. I'm so excited. Ah, finally furniture. We have a kitchen. I don't just have an air fryer. That's crazy. Okay. Okay, let me take a sip of water and let's go. Okay, so Louis on Aeobids, Marine Lord on HRE. Now, on Scandinavia, you have a map that usually gets split into two. One person gets dominance on the one leg, the other one gets dominance on the other. Marine Lord spawn is awful. This is a beastie spawn. I don't know who hacked Marine Lord's game, but the fact that his gold is this far forward and he doesn't even have a wood line to protect it, that's a tough spot to be in. So, Marine Lord, I mean, he's going to be fine, right? If he can be aggressive. But now, the question is, in this matchup, what is Louis going to age up with? So, with Louis on Aeobids, he has 4 choices to age up with. Realistically, he's got less, but... He can go Eco Wing, which will mean that he gets villagers. Ooh, Marine Lord, he's cooked. Guys, before we talk about that, Marine Lord only got 1 sheep. And Louis is getting everything. This is wild. This is a very tough position. Because there's nothing Marine Lord can now do to get enough food to take this on. Marine Lord is going to have to play a perfect game. And Louis has the upper hand in everything here. That is the hugest amount of food. There's very little Marine Lord can do. I feel like, yeah, Beastie might be playing on Marine Lord's account right now. That's it. That's the only explanation we have here. Now, neither of them went for water early on. And Louis and Louis now will be... Ooh, wait. Guys, there's just so much happening. Hold on. So, Louis is going for the Trade Wing Bazaar. We've been seeing this a little bit more on the map. The reason people go for the Trade Wing Bazaar is because you get units by gambling. So there's a little bit of a gamble you get to do at the early stages of the game. And this can either give you a lot of military units, or it can give you a little bit of an economy situation where you can trade some of your resources for another resource. So this puts you in a pretty interesting position, but it is risky. If he doesn't get a good gamba in the early stages, he is in a lot of trouble. Marine Lord is going for the Minework Palace. Now, the Minework Palace is a blacksmith, but it has cheaper upgrades and it has some unique upgrades. So now Louis is moving out onto the map. We can see his villager going towards the middle. Now, this is most likely going to be just to get him a dock. On the other side of Marine Lord's base, we also see a pink dot going there. So with the Trade Wing Bazaar, you usually get a few options. You get skirmishers, I believe. I'm not going to try to remember their names. There's military units that has a ranged attack. There's military units that has a melee attack. There is traders, or there are resource trades, so that you can get a favorable trade for resources. So if he gets those, he is in so much trouble. But if he gets some military units, he's going to be able to go across the map and do some real damage. Marine Lord instantly upgrading double broadaxe. So he's prioritizing getting double broadaxe because he wants to make a play on water. Because Marine Lord is going for that double broadaxe, you already know he's going to be doing a lot of work on water. He knows he needs to make this work. But Louis is docking both sides because his docks are cheaper. They're only 75 wood. Let's go see what he got. He got Badoon Swordsman. Great. And he got Oh no, he just got Badoon Swordsman. That is the only trade he got with military units. So now those swordsmen, melee units, they are going to be able to go across the map and do a little bit of damage. But Marine Lord should be aware that this is happening. Marine Lord is also going to see that he's on both sides of the lakes, which means that he is going to be needing to fight for his water. Louis, on the other hand, he is... Actually, now that I look at it, Marine Lord is not making any military ships just yet. He's decided to go for archers instead, and waiting for Louis to be the one investing on water. So he gets an archer out, which is going to be able to handle those swordsmen when they come across the map. And this was an important move, because with Louis investing 150 wood into the archery range, and now investing resources into archers, he's not able to afford water play. But this does also negate that advantage that Louis got by getting those military units. So the bazaar, ooh, he got another trade. So he just used one of his trades, and I think he got wood. So with that extra helping of wood, he's going to be able to make a ship. He's going to be able to make another dock. He gets to decide what that is. But we do see these archers running on out, trying to get a villager kill. But that archer is going to be in a little bit of danger. He does need to pull back. And the swordsmen are chasing behind as well. Now, Marine Lord is still just making archers. And Louis has decided to make a stable with that extra wood. He is going to go and get horsemen. Can the opponent see what Abed's got? I believe he can only see when the units are out on the map. So he can see if the trades were used, but he cannot see what is inside of it. Now, it does look like it's almost time for the next trades to come in. There's a little timer that's ticking around. And that timer is going to show you exactly... Oh, it's going to give you the new trades. So basically, once the new trades come in, Louis can then buy more units. Marine Lord quickly building a house that one prelate is now going to become 2 prelates because he realizes I might need to get a lot more prelates to keep this going. Marine Lord now making a military ship on his side so that he can stop this galley from making his life a little bit difficult in the fishing department. Where's the timer? It's inside the house, or the House of Wisdom. The observer should be able to click on it pretty soon. I don't know. You can see that Louis is just investing on fish. And now he's going to go. So you can see that timer is showing 6, 5. It's almost time, ladies and gents. He gets the skirmishers. He gets stone, he gets wood, and he gets gold. So now he doesn't have a lot of gold. So Louis can't just go and make these units. He's also making a camel, so that costs gold. So Louis getting that, he didn't really get any value from the gamble wing. Now, he does have a significant advantage in the food department, and Marine Lord is going to be able to get control of this lake completely. But it does still feel pretty scary, because Louis now has a lot of units on the land. Luckily, Marine Lord has 2. And now he needs to get a lot more food, because Louis is going to start making so many units. Because with all those fishing ships that he's invested in, look at the resources per minute. Louis is ahead in the food department against HRE that has a boosted economy already. Now, a second archery range and a stable coming out is going to mean that there's going to be a lot more cavalry on the field. But also archery range can also just help you make desert raiders. Now, getting a little bit of a block off here with the horse is important, and he should be able to pick off this one villager. One villager is a massive advantage to get at this stage of the game. The archer is in position to be able to fire back, but this is a pretty important pick off, because now you can see that Marine Lord has invested 2 military ships to get this lake going on his side, and he's only on 1 dock. So he's not able to produce as many fishing ships as Louis has. As the observer is showing us, he has 11 fishing ships. Louis has 11 fishing ships. So there's a set of units, and the gamble happens on which one you get each time. Exactly. You can get 3 of the same unit as well, or 3 of the same type of trade. Marine Lord has a lot of wood as well. You can see 980 wood per minute, and that's a lot, especially considering the units he's making. He's just making archers, but with this, you know, HRE, they'll use the wood for farms eventually, right? But I'm not too certain what he's doing with all that wood. He's just spending it, making lots of archers, probably adding more archery ranges, probably eventually going to be adding a farm or 2. Now he's getting siege engineering. So siege engineering means he's going to be using that to make rams instead. So fishing boats for Marine Lord, yes, he's trying to make fishing boats, but at the same time, he's only on 1 dock. So he can only make so many fishing boats, right? So now with the Mindware Palace getting all the siege engineering does feel pretty good. House of Wisdom now, traders are almost ready. Let's see what he's going to get. He gets, look at that, 3 stone trades and 1 wood trade. So, or one food trade. So he can now buy stone for a favorable rate. Now that's probably not what you want to be doing at this stage of the game. He does have some stone that he bought, and that means that he's going to get to upgrade his tower. But you can see Marine Lord is being aggressive. So I think it's 125 to 100, Philios. It's not better than Golden Gate, I believe. Actually, I have no idea. That's a good question. Marine Lord needs a bigger dock. His dock is only average. Yeah, it requires additional dock. But even without additional dock, he still has a pretty sizable army here. Louis needs to do something about this. And you can see he's got horsemen, but Marine Lord has so many archers. And because of that Mindware Palace, he's kind of in a good spot when it comes to being able to push and do damage now. Now the horses are going to be able to try and shut down the gold. Marine Lord does get pushed back. But Louis is floating a lot of resources here. He wants to go castle. The problem is just Marine Lord's army is really scary. And when Louis does go castle, he is going to be open to quite a bit of raiding, especially with that big lump of archers. Now, those archers are picking off some villages. We do see some archers here from Louis, but at the same time, those archers are nowhere near the number he needs. Now, Marine Lord has picked off 3 villages as well. That is a pretty massive one. Now, military wing gets chosen. So the military wing for Eobids. Let me take a sip of water. Military wing for AU bids means that he's going to get camels for free. That's pretty good. Because it is 3 camels every 2 minutes, I believe. And that is a lot of free resources. And he's just going to be able to outmass Marine Lord at least after a few minutes. Because he has such a strong economy on water as well, he should be able to outmass Marine Lord. Marine Lord, on the other hand, though, he's also looking at castle. You can see he's floating quite a bit of resources. He got siege engineering, but he hasn't made a single ram yet. I say that, and he makes a single ram. So even though Marine Lord is making a ram here, it still doesn't mean he's not going castle. He knows that this is a pretty optimal position for going castle when his opponent is going for castle too. So the spearman here on the gold is pretty key. Because now you gotta ask yourself, where is Marine Lord's next gold? His next gold is pretty far forward. So if this does get shut down, he is gonna be in for a surprise. Marine Lord now gonna go and try to shut down the dock. So the thing is, there's a lot of docks here, so he should be able to get a military ship out or two if he wanted to try and stop this from going down completely. It does take a while to take these down. He still has that backup dock that all the fishing boats can return to, but it's gonna be able to go down. The thing is, if this fishing eco does get shut down, it is going to be so hard to come back online. So this is the best place for Marine Lord to attack now. Marine Lord now finally getting wheelbarrow 2, and that single dock that's left, it's going to be very quick to go down. And once that fishing eco is down, I don't know if Louis has the ability to actually get it back. Now he does pull back a little bit. We do see the cathedral coming out from Marine Lord 2. Building it with 18 means that he knows how urgent this is, but Louis is going to be starved for food so soon, and he just doesn't have the answer to this. And you can see now the trade wing giving him stone yet again. This is a pretty tough spot to be in. And no, he's now putting a second dock, but look at this. Marine Lord is in position for that gold. He saw the gold running out and he was ready for it already. Now that ram is going to make it so hard to actually get control of this. The age up instantly ready. Marine Lord picking up those relics, or relics singular, and the eco for Louis is dead. There's absolutely no food coming in. You can see all those fishing boats, absolutely nothing is working right now. And this is going to mean that Marine Lord, oh, I can't believe I'm about to say this, but Louis won't even be able to make villages. At least until that dock comes up. And those villages are focused on the ram. They're not focused on building a dock right now. But you can see he's already placed 3 docks down there. So now Louis is the one trying to do damage. He's trying to force Marine Lord back into his base because he knows that Marine Lord just aged up. Marine Lord needs some time to get the upgrades. Now the camel numbers are going to be ticking and the docks are going to come back, but 0 food per minute now. Louis on 7 food. I wonder if his TC is idle. Let's see, 60 villagers. How long is that going to take? Oh, those fishing boats. That is the saddest feeling in the world. 60 villagers. He hasn't made a villager for quite a while. So now finally the food is coming on in, and it does look like this horse will shut down the prelate too. But he does pay with the life of a horse. The archers now, they are looking for a fight. The camels doing a pretty good job at this. The fishing boats have not dropped off the food just yet. Louis is so focused on making sure that he can take these trades. The horsemen trying to get forward, but he does need to be careful. The tower is reinforced now. Fishing boats still idle. And Louis does not notice. He notices now. Now you can see that's a lot of food. And instantly tries to get a few camel lancers to try and bring this back for him. Now, the camels are going to do pretty well, but that's a lot of spears. And he doesn't have an answer to those just yet. Double broadaxe also coming in for Louis, so he's trying to get those upgrades to try and get ahead. But with all of these horses on the field, Louis needs to now be on the map to do damage. He also needs to find a way to get some of these relics, because if Louis gets all the relics, he is going to be in danger. And you can see that's exactly what he's doing. He's trying to circle around and trying to pick off anyone who tries to go for relics. But the wood running out here is going to mean that Marine Lord needs to move out on the map for his next wood line. The next wood lines are quite far away and pretty exposed, but that cathedral is housing only, now 2 relics. So Marine Lord did get that second relic back to his base as well, and he's now going to be switching into men at arms. Now, some of these villages will get picked off as the towers are not going to be enough to keep them all safe, but a few of the archers do pay a pretty hefty price. And Louis now, he needs to recover from that little bit of idle time that he had. It does look like he's picking off units here and there, trying to pick off a prelate as he can, but that mobile army has not found any significant damage. He is going to be aware of this pretty soon. But it does look like Marine Lord is protecting himself pretty quickly as well. Now Louis is building more docks. He realizes this is going to be important to keep my economy safe. And it's pretty impressive that he's able to get back into the water, especially with Marine Lord's huge army. So Marine Lord now trying to get those towers up as well. He's probably going to try and sneak a relic in there too. And no relic play yet from Louis. He does not regard this as too important, but springholes are now the answer. The problem is, those springholes are going to do great against the spears. But there's a lot of archers he's got to deal with. The monastery now coming on out. And honestly, this looks a little strange if you haven't read the latest patch notes. Those monasteries are used to be like many chapels. So now you can put a prelate inside of the monastery. And with that, you're going to be able to get that whole thing inspired. And Marine Lord now is on 4 relics. Marine Lord coming back from the very low sheep count and actually making this look pretty scary here for Louis. Now, Marine Lord going again for the docks. Ooh, never mind. He changes his mind. Men-at-Arms being the weapon of choice. And he's now getting the upgrade to make sure that those monasteries are going to be those mini chapels and villages are going to be able to drop off there. So it's like a mini arcane, not fake, but mini. You see the archers firing down as much as they can, but the camels, if they do get a connection here, that's a pretty heavy army to fight. But you can see now, Marine Lord feels confident on this side of the map because he's got those towers, he's got the reinforcements on those towers, and he's going to be able to put relics in those towers too. Now the army is pretty large from Louis. And you see him moving that relic to the front here. Because that relic now is going to make that tower even more potent. Now the rams are now coming out for Louis. And he's looking at making some damage happen. But this is the problem when you over-invest on food. So with Marine Lord going for a very slow food eco on Scandinavia. He didn't overcommit on the docks. He was able to just get the food constantly.
IMHRE with 4 relics. What is going on?
Yeah, that is a pretty nice position to be in. Absolutely, having 4 relics feels so nice. And you can see that 1 relic at the front, it's not even in danger. These towers are just firing back so hard. The archers now moving a little far forward. The springholes are trying to do some damage. But what I was saying about the water, basically those fishing ships are just going from one pond to the next, trying to get a little bit of fish and not dropping off any food for Louis. So behind this, Louis's economy is again going to flatline. Now, Louis does need to think about what the food is going to look like for him soon, but Marine Lord is sitting back, enjoying those 4 relics and living his best life. Louis is not able to break him just yet, and Louis doesn't know what to do about this. We can see that. Louis is splitting up that army, but now Marine Lord is moving out very confidently. That's a very risky move. But those camels, they're also looking for a little bit of damage. Louis, though, with no relics, he's in danger. He's definitely in danger, and that last relic has been picked up for Marine Lord. He did move it to a different position, but it does get put back down. We do see that relic is on the side of Louis, but we did see that a prelate touched it for a second. I'm actually surprised he managed to get in there. Now, a trebuchet has been decided on, and a trebuchet is the right move here. You want to be able to get your trebuchets out, so that you can start hammering down those towers. So now you guys gotta ask me questions so I can sip on my water. Ooh. So behind all of this, Marine Lord has been able to save up on a little bit of food because he's max population. And he's going for a Palace of Swabia. Now he already has 92 villagers, so obviously he doesn't need a lot more. But this is going to mean that if he does get raided, he's not too worried about that. Why does Marine Lord never build walls? With HRE, he does. He does. Marine Lord was actually really good about walling recently. This is just a position where he doesn't feel like he needs walls. He's got the HRE towers. He actually wants his opponent to raid him, so that when the raiding does come, he doesn't care. He's just going to be fine. He's just like, oh, okay, cool. I will just mind my own business and let your units die to my tower fire. So I think it's a way of making Louis feel like he can be raided, but he actually just can't. Now, we do see that Ram trying to get some damage done, but the Mangonels make this an impossible push because the Mangonels are just going to destroy. You see Louis now stopping spending. He's going to try to go for Imperial himself. The Camel Lancer, he goes into the back, but because of no walls, he thinks, okay, I'm going to be able to do some damage, but he just dies. And even if he kills a villager, Marine Lord just makes more. Now, it does look like Louis is trying to get to that Imperial age, but he's already aged up with military wings. So he does get a Mangonel shot off, but these Mangonels are very far forward, and Marine Lord does need to be careful. We do see that connection coming out from all the horses and the camels. And the camels are doing a pretty good job at cleaning this up. But you can see the Mangonel here from Louis is pretty low. And you can see he's trying to get a shot off, but it does go down. The rocks make a pretty solid connection here. But the army, it's a pretty even trade here. The problem is just Marine Lord is in a much better position because he's got 4 relics. So he doesn't mind taking trades like this. And Louis doesn't have the extra resources to remax this because he wants to go up to the next stage. That is a beautiful Mangonel shot. And you see those horses are desperate to try to get on top of those Mangonels. But the majority of this army is archers. And he's just not able to get on top of the archers. So, advancement wing coming out, which means that Louis is so desperate, he goes for the cheaper age up instead. So, the problem is, these golds are going to get thinner and thinner. And you can see now, Louis realizes, hey, I need to move out. I'm just going to lose more villagers. And Marine Lord, he's sitting back, relaxed, making Landsknechte, men-at-arms. He's not worried at all. You can see these archers are running after these villagers and they are running for their lives, trying to get back to safety. Luckily, they do have a wheelbarrow, so they run pretty fast. Now, the camels are looking for yet another raid. Again, the problem is, even though they might find a raid, villagers now getting pulled on the Mangonels, and they will be able to get one of these Mangonels at least, but at the cost of a lot of lives. And Louis now has sacrificed a lot of vills. He knows how much this cost him. He doesn't have any relics. He's lost control of the map. He doesn't have access to gold anymore. Marine Lord takes it. And honestly, I'm pretty impressed. We're now down to the last game and 4-4. This is absolutely crazy to see. I'm so happy. Oh my god, I'm so happy to see this. We're getting the finals that we deserved. And I'm gonna go get more water. Mm. Okay, let's check this out. I can't believe that the games are ending up like this. This is pretty wild. Frisian Marsh's French opposite, baby. Hey! Louis on the French, yes. That's actually pretty good. So, Marine Lord is gonna retire sooner if finals keep being like this. Oof. I don't know, man. This must feel pretty tough. Especially Because Marino has been seen as pretty far above the pack, but Louis, he's making this look very, very scary. Now, the upcoming match, Frisian Marshes, we have a different matchup, but we'll talk about that in a little while. I'm just gonna sit here awkwardly and stare at the camera while I'm resting my voice. Let me eat a rice cake. Oh, actually, be right back. I'm gonna get a snack. Oh, my bathroom's always on. Okay. Ooh. So guys, I went to get a snack, and Beastie would be absolutely appalled if he just saw what I got. So I got salmon. He's already saying, ugh. I got salmon, and I'm going to get, I'm gonna eat it on top of rice cakes. Any comments on that? Eating salmon on rice cakes. But just not salmon on top of it. Okay, they're still making the lobby, so let me take a bite. And then we'll talk about it. Should have gotten a plate. Okay. Oh, waiting lobby creation. These guys probably need a break. Oh, look at that. Look at that. That is some pure ass salmon. Damn. God, I love that. I only buy it on special because in Serbia it's quite expensive. So every single time I see salmon on sale, I'm like, girl, thank you. Thank you. Is this the song they play in the last game Best of 5 in League of Legends? Dry salmon? It's yeah, it's smoked salmon. I was thinking about having 2 rice cakes, but now this thing looks so barren. I never loved salmon like this. But then I went to Norway, and we had salmon for breakfast almost every day. And I was like, oh my god. Jeg er skandinavisk nå. So, no cream with salmon is a crime though? Yes, but I'm trying to cut calories. And cream cheese is very, very caloric dense. But I do imagine it would be absolutely delicious with it. So, I would like to add a layer of cream. I know, guys, I know, just a little spoon. You guys think, do you think I should sacrifice the I actually made a very irresponsible decision. I bought myself some shorts that I don't fit into yet. Now I fit into them. And I told myself I will fit into these shorts by the time of the LAN. And I did drop 2 pant sizes, so that's good. But I've been doing so well without cream cheese. I'm gonna go get cream cheese. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with salmon and cream cheese. Very nice. So, yes, so I was not able to wear things like this. So now I've got some stomach muscles, I've got some definition. It's evening now, so I'm already bloated, but we're getting there. Okay, let me quickly down this one and then we'll talk about the draft. Okay, we survived. Oh my god, that was amazing with cream cheese. Oh, Looney, Looney, you get MVP for this one. Oh my god, that was the best idea I've ever heard of, and I feel like that is that changed my life. Thank you. I really appreciate it. There we go. You know, you're French, you know your cooking deals. We'll ask Marino if that's the case. Okay, so, how's Beastie's health recently? Pretty good. I think he's prepping for the tournament. But, yeah, we have a lot of stuff going on in real life. And, that makes things a little bit overwhelming. So, no, but he's doing fine. Okay. Now, game questions only. So, why Abbasid over Aubit? Aren't those trades Camel better on the later? So, with Abbasid, you usually have a lot of tricks that you can pull out. And this is usually something that is quite important in a matchup where Louis is going to be quite aggressive. So, Louis on French, I don't know, Abbasid has been in a pretty weird spot recently because they haven't been doing too well, but we do see Abbasid, in this case Marine Lord, going onto a dock here. Now that is a question, why not Aeobids in this case, but I think it's because he didn't have Aeobids. Now Marine Lord though, he now invests in getting that dock. Louis knows that this is a possibility, that's why he opens with a barracks. So getting Abbasid on this map, you will, of course, use your civilization's advantage. And your civilization's advantage for the Abbasid is having cheaper docks. So French now will have to respond. Like Louis going for the spearman, he knew Abbasid was picked here so that he can capitalize on that food economy that you get early on. But Louis only made 2 spearmen. And I don't know if this is where it ends. Because him only getting 2 spearmen means that he's not going to be able to burn down this dock. So he's going to be able to do some damage. He's going to be able to chase this villager away. He could even shut down a little bit of Marine Lord's gold. But he's... Ooh, and he goes for another one. Okay, so Louis wants to shut this down properly. Marine Lord now, the thing is, he is up against Spearmen. So now you don't get unlimited gold. You don't get to make all the decisions Abbasid gets to make. He pulls this villager back. But you know what French loves? French loves having low HP villagers on his opponent's side. Because that just means that a knight can charge in on a full HP villager, even with textiles, with the upgrade to get more HP. And they're going to be able to absolutely obliterate them. So this spearman, you know how when you want to cook some eggs, you heat up the pan first a little bit, and then you put a little bit of butter or like oil, whatever you prefer, in there. Then you put the eggs inside. You don't put it while the pan's cold. That is the butter. That's what Louis just cooked. Louis on the French, he's tapping into that civilization bonus, which is the cooking bonus, and he is buttering the pan a little bit. So with that butter of the pan, with those villages he's trying to fry a little bit, he's going to make it a very nice opening for the knights to come and kill them a little bit later. So this is an interesting one now, because Louis now with 3 spearmen, he should be able to do a bit of damage to this dock and even take it down. The thing is, it will invoke a response from Marine Lord. And the 2 spearmen were not going to do that initially. Oh, actually, with the amount of damage we see here, it actually forced Marine Lord to not be able to make more ships. Because with Marine Lord not making more ships, it tells us he's possibly not going to invest more onto this dock. He's like, I built the dock, he had to react, he invested something too, so I'm going to be able to do something about that. Now, Marine Lord does go for the military wing, which means that he's going to have those 2 spears and 2 archers from the start of the game. And this is going to be able to deal with those 3 spears that were shutting down basically his gold economy. Marine Lord now making another fishing ship. So, oh no, he's changed his mind. He's like, okay, you didn't put enough pressure on that dock. So, I might have the time to save this. So the villagers now getting pulled, they're most likely going to go to repair that dock. Because with Louis pulling away that 1 spearman, at least for a while longer, he is now reinvesting. Those villagers, they are not coming all the way, but the scout also stops damaging this dock. Now, Louis assumes that Marine Lord is going to abandon the dock completely, because he only made 1 fishing ship. But now the dock does seem to be going down, and ooh, unfortunately, I don't know if it's going to be worth it for him to rebuild the dock. It probably would, because they are a little bit cheaper. Now, the military wing does come on out, and he went back onto the gold. Now, the reason he went back onto the gold is so that he can get the upgrade for the spearmen as well. So, even if the spearmen were going to be able to be annoying, he's going to be able to get the upgrade for them. He can now also think about the next step, next upgrades, etc. But with that barracks that he's now getting, he's going to be able to produce more spears if he wanted to. Now, the dock does come back up because it's only 75 wood. And yes, I'm only going to use that for the French civilization. I will only talk about the cooking and the nice little... What are those things called? The nice little things they're serving us here today. Very nice. Now, the archery range instantly coming out. Now, this is a pretty standard move by most people. Because when you are going for something like the archery range in the Abbasid matchup, it's because you know that there are 2 archers that come out. And you need to make 3 archers. Full stop. That's all you need to make to be able to shut down the amount of archers from the Abbasid. Louis, though, he did not make a single knight, even though he went for the School of Cavalry. So there's no knight on the map. There's no investment into any of this. He has gone for double archery range. So this means that this is going to be, for now, a knightless archer play. And Marine Lord, or Louis, he's not going for pro scouts either, which is usually very common that we see out of French. He's just going out onto the deer. So going out onto the deer is a pretty smart move here, because basically you are just going to allow yourself to get the food you need. And your opponent, when he sees that the deer are dead in the fog of war, he's going to think, if he doesn't scout it, but Marine Lord is too smart, he scouts it. See, this is now a Marine Lord move. If Marine Lord goes and scouts this, he's going to know, okay, you didn't go for professional scouts, because that's the usual response. So now he sees the villagers out here. He knows, okay, you didn't invest in professional scouts. So what does this mean? You've probably invested in units. So Marine Lord instantly starts making more archers. Because what is the obvious counter of these units that you will be making? Archers. So Marine Lord with a lot of spears, he was preparing for the knight, but Louis only making his first knight now. Marine Lord also has triple dock. So he wants to try and get as much food as possible here. And now with more villagers out here on wood, he is going to be making a lot more archers and a lot more spears. So French with no knights, interesting. Well, yeah, he just did not want to invest all that food and instead invested it elsewhere. So Louis getting his upgrades. He's got every eco upgrade on the block. Marine Lord going for his 4th dock now. That is pretty wild, because getting your 4th dock here, it requires a bit of investment. The villager does get pushed back with these spears out running amok, but they will be meeting their match with more spears running right at them. The archers also in position for this. Now, Marine Lord is starting to bank some resources, and this could be because he's waiting to switch over to some other units, but instantly queues up another archery range as soon as I said that. So now the dynamic between these players, it's basically a reactionary one. Marine Lord has to be careful because he's got units out here on the map and he's playing against French. French, they punish units out on the map. They punish if you don't have your army at base trying to keep your whole life alive. And that's Louis now with 13 archers and a handful of knights. He's going to be able to start doing some aggressive things. Now boot camp also coming in. This is going to mean that the infantry has a little bit of extra HP. You can see how quickly those spearmen are melting, and you can now see those villagers on gold are going to get shut down. And Marine Lord, he doesn't have access to any other gold out of this, because the other gold is also going to be right in the line of Louis coming to shut this down. So Marine Lord now switching over to horsemen, and this is what I was talking about, him getting some other units. Because you take a little while to get your production building out, and then things start to get a little different. Now, horses is going to make this a little bit less ideal for the archers, but Louis has not invested in a single, or he invested in a single spearman. He's only invested in a lot of archers. So no military upgrades either, and he's going to be able to go, but Marine Lord's going to be able to go back on gold now. So he is going to be able to think about those upgrades, but he doesn't have any eco upgrades either. He just has these docks. Now French, they do produce villages a little bit faster. So it doesn't look like Marine Lord is as far ahead, because French is able to produce some of these things. But now Marine Lord needs to be careful. His army is a little bit split. And this does mean that he is going to be able to be picked off if those knights collapse, and you don't want to be running those spears into the group of archers coming your way. So you see Marine Lord very carefully trying to pivot around, but honestly, this is very far out. And if Marine Lord gets caught here, he's cooked. That's basically it. The archers, they do make it back to the rest of the army, and it doesn't look like Louis is going to be able to do any significant damage, even though he caught this army out. Now, with all of these docks, Marine Lord is going to be able to have a little bit of control over those other golds too. So he could get a military ship there to defend himself, but at this point, that is a massive investment. So camel archers now coming out. Now, when you're playing against this many archers, you usually do not want to make camel archers, but the camel archer is there to debuff the knights, because camels make knights do less damage. So they cause this thing called camel unease, and when you are uneased, you're just not doing as much. These fishing ships doing great work here. As we can see, they are very happily just snacking on those fish, and that's a lot of food on each pond. So for now, Marine Lord is in a pretty good spot when it comes to just dealing with this French army. Louis, though, he's adding a few more knights. He just doesn't have an answer to all these horses just yet. It does look like Marine Lord got enough resources to get his +1 ranged defense, and he's going to be able to possibly get that +1 ranged attack too. And it's because the camels spit, and camels should get a ranged spitting ability. I completely agree. That would be... Although, we might need to go into the llama territory for that, Secret Beef. Now, we do see that more archery ranges are getting added. Because Marine Lord is playing with Military Wing, he got this upgrade called Boot Camp. And Boot Camp gives your units a little bit more HP, your archers included. A Llama Lancer. And I would ride one into battle. So, with those camels... Oh, I was almost going to say, with the camel spit... No, with the upgrade that they get... Oh, he's going to lose the fishing boat. Oh, and he lost 30 food alongside that. No. So, with +1 ranged attack, this is going to mean those archers are extra potent. But he's also got boot camp, so his archers are a little bit tankier than Louis' archers. But now those French villagers producing a little bit faster has kind of caught up with Marine Lord. The thing is, they're still just normal villagers. They're not on any of this fishing eco, so they don't gather as much. We can see Marine Lord having 1,000 food a minute. It's limited edition. It doesn't last forever. But now Marine Lord is again moving out here with the horses, trying to get a little bit of map control, but Louis is very quick to react. The thing is, Marine Lord doing this is actually just delaying that attack from Louis. And Louis, he's banking up some resources to go for castle himself. So now, no units on the gold here. We do see some of these villages out here on the fish. So this does mean that they're a little bit out of position, but Louis is pulling back. He's still making units. He's not fully committing to the idea of going castle. But Marine Lord, with no villages on gold, it means he is connected, or he's planning. Oh, never mind. He's now put a few villages on gold. He can potentially just try to take this fight in feudal because he's invested so much into this. And he's idled quite a bit of Louis for a while, but you can see the army value is still ahead for Louis. The thing is just, that's army value, and it doesn't keep into account that Marine Lord does have boot camp, which makes his units a little bit tankier. Now, he only has 1 camel archer, so that will get picked off pretty quickly, especially with 47 archers in the bank. Now, this does look like an army that is starting to move on over. Those knights are going to have to pull back too, because even if they could get that dock, this is now a pretty good timing here for Marine Lord. He's invested everything. He is even getting upgrades on his spearmen as well, and I honestly have no idea what that upgrade does. I think it makes their spears do more damage? I'm not sure. I don't play Abbasid as much, but this is why this is the Noob Cast. We're all learning. So, extra range, there we go. Spearmen have extra range. Love that. Thank you, Secret Beef. You're here to assist. So, now Royal Institute coming out. We've been seeing a lot more Guild Hall recently from players because they don't mind playing in Castle and ending playing in Imperial, especially on a map like this. But Louis is now going for Royal Institute, which means that he is going to most likely try to take on Marine Lord in Castle, because he's going to have access to those pseudo-imperial upgrades. But the thing is, they're expensive, they're going to need some time, and this is a pretty scary army here from Marine Lord. And the moment the Royal Institute comes out, he's going to queue up those upgrades, but this army from Marine Lord is going to go straight for his face. So you can see now with these units moving forward, he's going to be running into these knights. He does need to be careful. The knights also run into the units, and instantly he's going to be able to get that knight pretty low. He does only get, I was going to say, 1 kill. Okay, he does get 1 kill, and the upgrades are coming for Louis. And then Marine Lord might not want to take this anymore. He is pretty aggressive right now. The horseman has split off as well. But with boot camp, he should be able to take this fight at least pretty soon. Now, the spearmen, they go straight for the tower here. He doesn't want to give him that vision into the stealth forest right now. So he is getting that on fire, but he doesn't commit to that extra shot because the archers are going to start picking off some of these spears. So now with the horseman out on the map, he's going to try to find some damage while going for his own age up. Now, the age up that Marine Lord is going for is the Culture Wing. Now, the Culture Wing gives you a discount on your technological upgrades. So once he hits castle, oh, yes, once he hits castle and culture, he's going to be able to try and get all those military upgrades for just a little bit cheaper. I believe they work on military as well. I don't think they're just on economic ones, but yes, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. But now, what happens in castle is that Abbasid gets access to camel... what are those called? Camel... Not raiders. Ooh. Camel... Are they raiders? Camel raiders. Okay. Riders. We were close. So they're going to get access to the camel riders. Now, the camel riders, they make this a little bit spicier. Because they are really good against these knights. But the problem is, these are going to be royal bloodline knights. They are not going to be your normal variety of knight. So, they are going to take a bit more of a punch. We do see a lot more spearmen in queue for Marine Lord. He's making as many as he can. He knows that this is going to be a one-sword fight, and he's going to need to do a lot of damage. Royal Bloodlines is almost in. And Louis is investing in more knights.com and more archers as well. But... it does feel like Louis is very optimistic here to dive. The thing is now, he's going to have this Royal Bloodline Knights, and it's about to hit now. And Marine Lord now hitting the age up. He doesn't have those upgrades yet. Archers aren't upgraded, but this is a pretty sizable amount. And Louis is committing to this into a pretty scary army. The archers are not able to target fire these spears as quickly as they would want to. And the knight numbers, 14 knights now. This is still a pretty scary amount. The knight numbers are not going down, but the spearman numbers are. And right now the army value seems to be pretty even. But these veteran upgrades are taking a while to kick in. The archers are doing their best at focus firing the other archers. Spearmen are trying to go backwards so they don't get picked off by these archers. Trying to get a few knights to go down. Villagers are standing there idly, hoping that their economy will survive another day. But Louis has a lot of units in here. The problem is just these units are very expensive to replace. And Louis doesn't have a lot of food. He's spending every bit he has. A veterancy coming through on the archers and composite bows as well. Which is going to mean that these archers are going to be a little bit better too. The problem is just these knights are so tanky. The thing is just I don't think Louis is getting the damage he needs to make this worth it. All those knights are going to go down. The camel riders are out too. And they're slowly going to be dealing with all of these knights. All of a sudden, Louis' big mass is gone. He's just invested a significant amount. He's only killed 7 villagers total. And now, Louis is slightly cooked. Because he committed under this into a pretty sizable economy and just couldn't do the damage. He invested into these knights. He's gotten the Royal Institute. So this all of a sudden becomes a lot much of a harder game for Louis. Now Louis is not ready to call this because this is his tournament life. This is the game that determines who goes through. But knowing Marine Lord, he knows how big of a mistake this was. And Camel Riders now are going to have the upper hand. So Louis is still making knights. He's finally getting every single knight upgrade he can because that was a full commit. He didn't need to get them to heal. So, unfortunately, this feels like a pretty tough spot to come back from. No army, no castle. Yeah, he is in for a pretty big push. And you can see Marine Lord is getting every upgrade he can. Getting more archers, more camel riders. And he still has access to all those deer if he decides to go there. So, Secret Beef, it was not mods, it was auto mod. You can just yell at Twitch instead. It's actually pretty funny that they censor French. But now, with the camel riders here at the front, you can see Louis knows he's on a timer. And the thing is, the timer has run pretty low. The archers, the composite bows from Marine Lord is just so strong at the moment. They are tankier, they run the same speed, but they do a lot more damage in the long run here. Now, these knights, they keep trying to engage. They keep trying to go onto the camel rider to do some damage. But now, with the spearmen in the mix, this becomes harder and harder. And Louis is slowly tapping out every source of food here. He's now going onto the fish here too. And when you're out on the map like this, and you're not in control of the map, it's a ticking time bomb. The knights are going to be able to heal up, but Marine Lord has not taken that significant amount of damage that was needed to actually get the value from French here. Now, keep in mind, Marine Lord does have a lot of fishing boats out here, and they will eventually run out of food, so he's also going to need to think about a food transition. But because of his units naturally countering what Louis has, and that bank of Marine Lord, he is getting all the gold he needs so that the moreknights.com is not going to make his life too hard. But you can see Louis is doubling down on knights. He wants this to work. So, with all those knights, he knows he needs to get economic damage. A Marine Lord does need to move out on the map at some point, but he's also thinking the same thing about his army. So, getting that army out here is going to surely end up getting him to run into this mass. Now, Louis is trying to attack. He gets in. He's chasing after that one spear. And this gives Marine Lord an opportunity to move back. The fact that the knights didn't go to the back of the base, didn't go to the wood line, means that Marine Lord has time to respond to this. He picks off an archer. And, because he now knows that there are knights out here, he's able to move his villagers to a safer spot. The knights, they do see some villagers, but they do need to back off pretty quickly. No walls once more. Yeah. Okay, fair. Now, the knight does find a few vills here at the back, but it doesn't mean that he's going to be able to do significant damage. 10 villagers going down total. This knight is stepsister stuck back there. So, all those knights, very uneased, yes. They are running for their lives right now. Now, with the knights here on the front lines, they are trying their best at getting a little bit of a poke in. And they do get a bit of a poke. They're now connecting onto the archers, but the camel riders are here at the front, trying to cause that unease. Quickly, the archers from Louis trying to focus down these camels. And the problem is just, with the archers from Marine Lord, he can easily clean these up. So even if those camels do go down, it's not going to be enough. We can see these knights are pretty scary. They're taking okay trades, but the spearmen are just too plentiful, and they're actually just destroying everything here. Louis, again, just not finding the damage he needs to try and stay in this. The knights are just not able to get those connections they need, and the camel rider at the front, you see him just making the ones he needs. And Louis now going up with his walls, but you see the food just running out all around the map. And this is just going to mean that Louis's Night Mass is just not going to be as full. Although Marine Lord, he's in a similar situation. We see the villager count went down because he had to delete some of those fishing boats. The food is running out on the ponds. And this means that there's a little bit of an opening here for Louis. He did get 3 of the relics, while Marine Lord only got 2. But Louis not having that guild hall is making this a lot harder than it needs to be. Now the knights are pulling into the base yet again. They know they need to find some damage. The archers moving forward though. And even though he wants to find damage, there is already reinforcements in Marine Lord's base. Now there is a pretty sizable chunk of villagers here that are about to be caught out. But it doesn't look like Louis spots this. He doesn't see it very clearly. He pulls the other knights back. And if he had these here, he would be able to pick off at least 3 or 4. But now, he's not even going to get 1. Abbasid archers, pretty well unmatched. Yes, no. Them with all their beautiful upgrades is just going to make this close to impossible. But now, Marine Lord with the army mass on the other side, he is the one in control. He's going to find these blobs of villagers all around the map, and he is going to start killing off those of Louis. Louis now running 2,200 gold, but no food. You know this is a tough spot for him. You see him just fishing as much as he can. Villagers running for their lives, trying to stay alive in this. The archers know something is up, but this is not his whole army. This is maybe a chance for Louis to pick off a bit of these units, but you can see Louis is spending every bit he has. Villagers now running for their lives as well. Archers now in a position where they can get picked off, but you see Louis feels scared about this engagement. He doesn't want to run right into them. And now the archer is going to try and kite to pick off these spears, but the amount of spears there are, and the camels to just cause that unease and make the knights attack less, it's going to make it so much harder. Now the archers do kite backwards. The villagers are completely idle, just running for their lives. And Now the archers are trying to just kite, but every single time they kite, the camels are on top of them. Louis, his economy is a little bit at a standstill when it comes to the food, and he needs to transition to farms, but if he does, this just slows down so much more. The villagers being idle, the economy being kind of in shambles, but Marine Lord, he also faces a similar issue with the food. The difference is he is able to make some cheaper units that have a lot more punch because they do have that military wing upgrade. They do have boot camp. And it does look like he has a few farms in the transition already. Now, the observers are not showing us that just yet, but 600 food per minute for Marine Lord is not feeling too great either. Louis, he does look like he's feeling confident enough to keep pushing out. Marine Lord does still need to be careful. He cannot take unfavorable trades because with those farms only coming online now, it is going to take a while to kick in. Now, the farms are very ugly, but they are going to do the job. Some of these villagers are just waiting for the wood to be able to make more farms. Both of these guys at the same time on that farm transition. This is where things can go very wrong very quickly. Louis, he is a little bit ahead of the food, but Marine Lord should catch up any moment now. And we can see that those archers are just not trading out as effectively. The archers trying to kite back and forth, but Marine Lord, he is able to kite with those spears. He does not like to take these fights into those archers because, of course, you don't want to lose those spears, but now the crossbows are going to make this so much harder. Those knights are just not going to hit the same way they used to. Because now the crossbows are going to be the ones kiting and picking off these very expensive units. Now a big chunk of Marine Lord's villagers moving out onto the gold because he knows he needs to keep making units. He needs to make crossbows. The archer numbers are dwindling as well because he's just not investing as many into those. He's got the crossbow numbers that he wants, and it's just the right amount of units that he needs to try and counteract this. Louis, though, he's making mostly archers because he sees the crossbow mass, and archers, they deal with crossbows pretty well. Now, the standstill with the food. This is the weird opening you get to where you want a little bit of time for your farms to come online, but your opponent wants the same thing at exactly the same time. Louis, though, he's got a lot of resources. We see a ton of gold here. One knight idling all of those farms, and that's going to ensure that Louis' farms is going to be able to start catching up. Now, Louis, he is out with a lot of knights. Marine Lord has not made that camel mass that we expect to see against these knights, but he just wants them for the unease. He wants these archers to do the damage they need. And now, out on the gold, Louis could potentially do a little bit of damage here. Those archers are doing a good job at kiting, but the crossbows are picking off every knight that dare steps forward. Louis did not make the guild hall, so he is not able to do that easy button press and go into Imperial. Now the camel raiders are here at the front and the archers are trying to pick them off. With the amount that he has, he is able to do so. So he does need to be careful here. It does look like Louis is doing a fantastic job at staying in this, because for a while it looked like he was dead. These archers are trading beautifully. But Marine Lord, he's just being very careful about not overcommitting to this. The archers are trying to pick off, but the pure numbers from Marine Lord and the HP from them is going to make this a little bit easier for Marine Lord in the long run. More camels being added. And now Marine Lord still getting a few crossbows while making those archers. He's got a few of those farms idle, so Louis' economy is looking okay. But he's still just not able to go to that Imperial age that French loves to be in with the Guild Hall, because it just doesn't exist. But you can see the knights, they're just coming in and out with the archers trying to pick off everything they can. Louis spending every bit of resource that he has to keep massing up. But Marine Lord behind this, he's floating the stone. He's going to start to be able to make those keeps. He's going to start to secure those sacred sites if he wanted to, or just protect his farms if he wanted to. Now that one knight idling out a lot more farms, the camel is coming on in, but the knight will have done its damage by just pure idle time. So now ask me questions so I can drink my water. Now, the sacred side victory for Louis is approaching, but this doesn't mean much. This is a position he's in. But, oh, and he's also got the stone for it, so he's also going to be able to make a keep. It does look like Marine Lord also spent his stone, so he's also gotten his keep somewhere. We just don't know where that is just yet, but these composite bows, they are wonderful to play with. Now, Louis, he has spent his stone as well. He's getting military academy. He wants more production, faster. And with the keep that he now gets, the French units are going to be discounted. So, with French, they have this rate of the ability around their keeps where their units are cheaper. So, if the production buildings are built around the keep, they are able to do pretty well with this. And honestly, I've never seen such an aggressive stalemate. This is absolutely wild to see between these two. But Louis' numbers it's starting to get scary because now with those knights, he's able to get into those farms and Marine Lord is just not... He's just not able to contest this. He's not making any walls. Apparently, Marine Lord's lack of walls is just allowing these knights to have a field day on these farms. And Louis, even though he's been behind for a very long time, he's finally max pop. And he's going to be able to go Imperial. And when he hits Imperial, Marine Lord is going to be stuck for a while because he's going to need to try and get back that food economy that the knights have been idling. And maybe he does get a keep on those farms. He does have one keep on the farms, but Louis has the gold bank. He's got the food now. And now that he's going to go and age up with the Red Palace, he's going to secure those sacred sites. And remember when I said the sacred sites didn't matter? Because he's just going to be able to stop them. Marine Lord did not stop them. And now he's on a timer. And that timer is starting to matter. Now, the Red Palace was clicked up, but he forgot to put some villages on them. I think he may have right-clicked onto a tree next to the Red Palace, because that does sometimes happen. So now he realizes and he puts the 37 on Red Palace. He wants this Imperial Age, and he's going to get more and more discounts for his units. The villagers now putting the Red Palace quite far forward here, close to the base of Marine Lord, because this is just going to ensure that he can start sieging this down if he wanted to. But Marine Lord, he wants to go Imperial himself. You can see this now. He gets the economic wing. Now, the economic wing in this scenario, it doesn't hit the same as the usual economic wing that we see with Abbasid. Abbasid usually goes for the eco wing, so they get discounted TCs, so everything is a little bit cheaper. But the problem is just, there was no such opportunity. And now Marine Lord is on 90 villagers. He's lost 30 total. These knights are going to keep running into the base because they don't care about this little bit of keep fire. You can see that keep is barely tickling these boys. They already got all their upgrades. So, yeah, there's no better imp option for Abba, but this is the only one that he had. Or he could have probably gone trade. No, he can't because he doesn't have map control. So no, Abbasid did not have a choice here. It was just how the cookie crumbled, unfortunately. Now, Louis completely max pop. He's getting every single upgrade on the block. Finally getting that Imperial upgrade for the knights as well. And now, all of a sudden, those camels that we said they deal so well with knights, they are barely a figment of our imagination. Aphelios, once you go heat up the dinner, it's going to be over. Now, the knights are waiting for that upgrade to kick in. We see 3,000 food in the bank. He's spending every bit he's got. Yeah, this game, I would say this game is about to end. Final push, exactly. Louis knows that he doesn't want this game to go too long because, of course, he doesn't have the guild hall. So with these knights, he's going to be able to push right into it and start killing those villagers. Now, Louis wants to hold on. Oh, not Louis. Marine Lord wants to hold on because he needs to get those upgrades. He just sold some food to get the gold for his upgrades. But these knights, they're looking for some damage. They're not able to find it just yet. And Aphelios, I think your dinner may have just controlled the game. This game is 4 minutes from ending, though. So you should probably stay for that sacred side victory. Now, the problem is these keeps are securing the sacred sites. And the cannons are now starting to do the damage. So Louis does have his cannons. There is a trebuchet firing at the TC, but there's a pretty sizable army that's defending this. Now those blob of knights, they can still run around and cause a little bit of havoc, but it does look like this is going to be a pretty good engage. The university upgrade for the archers is about to come in, and then they shoot fire arrows. And I don't need to make that a noob cast to explain to you guys that fire does more damage than without fire. So the fire arrows are now in, and this means that those archers are going to be hitting a little bit harder, as we can see now, even with those military upgrades from the military wing on Marine Lord. This is going to be a pretty tough fight. Now the knights, they are pretty careful here. It does look like Louis does not want to overcommit. He wants the TC to help, and that cannon is trying its best. Remember, they're fighting into mangonels, so Louis does have to be careful, but the knights, they look pretty confident. He does need to be careful. There's only 16 of them, and that's a lot of units here. But it does look like Louis is attacking on another front as well. We see dots going all around the map. Louis is raiding at the back of this. And the French cannon is trying to focus down these mangonels. The stone has run out for Marine Lord, so he cannot repair those keeps either. So those incendiary arrows are doing good work. And there's 2 minutes 40 on the timer here for that sacred site to end the game. Marine Lord is spending every bit of resource he can, and he cannot get back up to 200 supply. Now the knights, you can see those knights are very confidently diving onto the mangonels. The siege is done. Marine Lord, he's lost to a French and Imperial without a guild hall, and it looks like those cannons are about to end that keep. The sacred site timer, 2 minutes away. A Marine Lord, he realizes that's it. Louis is the champion. That was wild. Oh my god. Hot damn, girls. What the hell? Louis is our new champion. Finally, someone dethrones the chimp. You're feeling it? Yeah. No, but that was pretty nice. Oh my god. I'm actually quite glad we got to see that. And we get another celebration. Now, guys, if you watched EGC yesterday, you would see that the interview did not go so well. Now, I really hope today they actually get the interview to go. But, yeah, we'll see. Is there an interpreter now? I really hope so. Because that is going to be a destruction otherwise. This feels like this is Louis' moment. And he really deserves to have an interview, right? So, yeah, yesterday was pretty funny. I'm gonna play a few ladder games. And then we will be heading off to Bedge. So, I'm gonna play a few ladder games. I wanted to... Oh, really? Declined by him? Oh my god! So, I really want to see if this is actually gonna work. Let me go check. Do we actually have our interpreter? Guys, this is the moment of truth. Please tell me they do. Oh no. Oh no. Crackety was the one. Ooh, when many of my fans speak English. Yeah. Damn. That was pretty wild, but it's fine. It is what it is. I am going to let them do their interview, and I'm going to have my rank given to. Do they have the interpreter? Oh no. Oh my god. Because that would be pretty funny if they don't manage to. I really hope they do. Louis deserves to have his voice heard. Yeah, I'm gonna play like 2 ladder games. Is that okay? They got an interpreter.
All right, Louis, congratulations. I see the sun is already back out shining for you. Man, once again, just congratulations. Big victory here. How are you feeling after this one?
恭喜你 MT， 你觉得这一把感觉怎么样？
很开心 ，very happy. Yeah.
I'm very happy. Yeah.
Very happy. I can definitely relate to that, man. Congratulations. This has been quite the long, drawn-out set, and you've had such a long road behind you to get to this point where you're able to win against Marine Lord. And I gotta ask you, these games, they have been incredibly tough. Were you worried in between throughout these games that you might not have what it takes? Because you certainly did at the end, but honestly, every single game was incredibly close.
他问你就是这个今晚打得非常长嘛，然后问你有没有就中间有没有就是说一些对局你觉得比较难打？
Okay. I'm not gonna watch the interview. I'm gonna go play Rus. It's time for Rus. So I was honestly really glad to see he got his interview, but I really want to see how this is gonna work at the LAN. We got him a translator there as well, and it's Rus versus Rus. Oh my god, wild. Okay, let's go. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of a pumper stream. Okay. And we've seen both of the players go for a single scout. So this or not a single scout, as only a secondary scout. So this is gonna mean I'll do the same. You come back here. Okay. Okay. Now I see his scout over there. Ah, I'm playing against Rus. I cannot take any risks. Okay. Let's go. I was gonna say I can possibly just try and be a greedy goose. And... oh. Okay. Just need to be careful. Okay, he's getting berries, that's fine. I'm not gonna make any extra units here. Who's also known as Byzantines, yes. Okay, perfect. Okay, now I can go clean up this side. And... Chief, you may go now. Oh, actually, let's just make sure we're safe about this and actually do something about our sheep situation. Yes. Now, luckily, I do have one villager on berries, which is not something you should admit and be proud of. I'm just happy because I know my food extension is a little bit extended. Yeah. That is basically it. So we're a little bit extended, and that always feels great. So yeah, honestly. It's pretty nice, yeah. It's pretty damn nice. Okay, boys, come and deliver quickly. And now our next question is going to be, basically, what can I do with my scouts? How can I be annoying? Because that is, of course, everyone's next choice is to be annoying. You need to be able to do something against this hunting cabins, and we talked about this on the cast a little bit earlier. If you are playing against Rus, or if you're playing against Rus, what you're most likely going to be able to do is harass one of his hunting cabins. Okay, let's go. Ooh, my antivirus just popped. So you're going to be able to harass one of their hunting cabins, and that should make it a little bit more annoying to play against. Let's put you here. Okay, we're going to rally the next one over here. You boys onto these. Ooh. And this guy, I want to go see what the other hunting cabin looks like. And now we're going to make an extra scout here. I'm going to go and harass that hunting cabin as quickly as I can. Okay, boys. Let's go. Perfect. Oof, I really thought I would have enough here. Okay, come. Let's go. Ooh. Now that hunting cabin is in range of the TC, so we're going to go this way. Okay. Perfect. All right. Alrighty, let's quickly sell some food. Oh god. Oh, okay, I thought I sold the wrong thing. Let's go. Okay. So see, mine is just out of range. So he has the same idea here. And okay. Oof. Let's go here. Just wanna piss him off a little bit. Okay, let's just repair this for a second and keep trading. Okay. Alright, let's go this way, boys. Okay. Go put you here. Rest of us over there. Oh my god, I'm so stressed. Oh my god. Okay. Boys, I feel like I am missing one on wood. It's unfortunate. Okay. Let's quickly get you guys over here. And the most important is just getting my own deer pack, right? Okay. Let's pull them here. I don't need another scout. I'm gonna call it from there. I need to make sure we have a little bit extra on wood. I may have goofed a little bit here otherwise. You now have all the EGC points. Oh, because of Louis? Damn, girl. That must feel pretty good. Let's quickly get these guys on deer. Quickly. Okay. Alright, boys. I feel so overwhelmed by this. It's fine, come on. Oh, and this one. Oh. Okay. Go back. God, I love this. This is so great. Oh my goodness, I love Rus. Thank you, Rus, for being great. Dun 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 dun. Okay. Now I can finally think about these bad boys. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for destruction. I'm so excited about those. I should have had one of these already. Oh my god, a knight in this economy? Okay, perfect. You boys, pull back. Okay, let's go. Come boys, we're gonna go attack a knight. Nighty night. Okay, go. That's a very expensive thing to do, actually. Okay. I say that and I realize... Ooh. Okay. Ooh, need to undo one of those. What? Okay, I am already overwhelmed. I need to sell a little bit of food. Hey, boys. This feels a little scary. Okay. And you boys, let's go and be annoying. Let's just be annoying. I should have probably gone for that one too. Oh my god. Okay. Whew. Oh no. Oh shit. Oh no. Oh no. I honestly may have goofed a little bit there. Oh. I am not great at microwing. Oh no. Oh my god. Holy shit. Why am I not making units? No! I'm hoping to say BC. Oh, EGC Ray. Oh, yeah, it's fine. I don't care. I'm here to play video games, you know? Okay. Let's go. You over here. Okay. Oh my god. This is honestly disgusting. I have... I'm really, really struggling with this. With not losing my units. That is such a big problem. Okay, let's see the other one. Let's go this way. The problem is, I'm not in a position where I can now fully control the relics or anything. Okay, did you get these ones? Yes. Mm-hmm. I should have had a wheelbarrow by now. We got this, we got this. Oh my god. I think I'm okay. It doesn't feel okay, but I think it's fine. I should have had a wheelbarrow a little bit earlier. Maybe that would have made things a little bit better for us, but it's alright. Let's quickly get that next relic. Okay. Let's make a move out for yet another one. I think there's a little bit of an opening here. I have enough for this too. I could potentially go for my second TC. And it's all about who has the most horse archers. It's always been about the horse archers. So if you have more horse archers, you are supposed to take this. So let's just let the whole... I'm not gonna do this just yet. Oh, shit. Oh. Okay, let's go. Okay. Oh, come. Bring it back, bring it back. Whew. I think we're okay. It felt like a little bit of a slippery slope there for a while, but it should be alright now. Okay, let's pull you guys back for a second. You do this the safe way, please. And this guy is gonna go get me the next one. So in this scenario, it does not feel like of course I'm not ahead, but it doesn't feel like I've lost this. Okay, let's quickly think about where our next resources are gonna lie. If this wood line runs out, we're possibly gonna need to be here. Ooh, ooh, ooh. No, 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 no.
LeJules rated your channel with 8 viewers.
Oh my god, thank you, LeJules. Okay. It's all about the horse archers. I need to keep making horse archers. That's what the rules say in Rus vs. Rus! How can this be? Oh. Okay, you boys, get me wood. We are just gonna be snacking on ass right now. Oh, I haven't done any significant damage though. I do have enough relics to make this very, very viable. Let me just get you boys out here to make farms. Okay. Oh, this feels so slow. I think we're gonna be transitioning into some other units too. Okay. Let me just check. What could I get? These guys? And potentially, maybe I should think about horsemen too. Okay. Okay, let's go, boys. We're gonna go over to that side. I'm gonna undo some of these horse archers. Okay. Okay, you guys are gonna be number 1. You guys are gonna be number 3. The rest of us are going to rally right into our base and hopefully not lose everything. Oh, no, never mind. Let's go get another set of... Okay, more horse archers. Oh my goodness. Okay. Up. I should have had other production buildings. Oh, shit. Oh no. Woo! Shit, boys. Me being on 3TC, doesn't feel like this is gonna be enough. Oh, I need to make some adjustments. Holy shit. Oh my god. Okay. Now, honestly, I could potentially invest in some walls. I should learn from the Goat Marine Lord and do something about this not having wall situation. Okay. Let's quickly buy a little bit of food. Okay, pull back. So I know he's on 1 TC. I need to get a lot more resources going, but I think with 1 TC, I'm still in a pretty decent position. But this is him not having anything else. Let's go put you boys over here. Okay, we need to make as many units as we can, as fast as I can. So this is gonna be, you wanna get into this game, where do you begin? Oh my god, where do you begin? Now there's so much to do. The thing is, this is a very fun game, right? It's just a lot to learn. So where you begin is you open the Art of War. The Art of War is a mode that you can play. It's like a tutorial, but it's a lot better than a standard tutorial. It actually teaches you exactly what you need to know. It is a very, very good way of learning this game. So everything that you need to know, you're going to learn there. Then you're going to pick one civilization and one civilization only. And you're going to learn by playing that. You are not going to try learn all 600 civilizations. We don't have that many, but it feels like that sometimes. So you try and take it slow like that. That's the only way where things don't get so overwhelming. So if you get into a position where you actually feel comfortable on one civ, then, and you can decide what is going to be your rank before you start going for another. It's a very effective way of doing things. And that way, you're going to enjoy the game, you're going to start, and you're going to learn, and you're going to understand so quickly, compared to if you're just trying to speedrun everything and trying to learn everything in a short amount of time. So, my advice, start with one civilization and go from there. So, if you can actually just master one civilization, you will have a much better time at absorbing all this knowledge, because the game, it just requires so much knowledge. And it's not a bad thing. I love it. I freaking love this video game, as you can see. But it's a lot for a lot of people, and that's why it's always good to chunk it for yourself a little bit better. Okay, now what we're going to do is I'm going to switch over to horses here. Perfect. You bring it back, boy. Yeah. All of these guys are about to be under siege. Okay, so I'm going to keep behind all of these number 3. The rest of you. Okay. Ooh. Holy shit, that was lucky. Oh my god. Boys, let's quickly go here. Okay, rest of us all the way over here. Mhm. Okay. And let's go out, boys. Let's go, let's go. Whew. 37 idle, that's never a good amount. But it is what it is. Okay. I was on second TC for a lot shorter time than I was. Ooh, okay. Perfect. He didn't get a single relic. I should probably try and get this wall fixed up as well. And now we're gonna go check out that side. Now I don't have anyone on gold. And I think now's the time for me to do so. Let's go. We just need to make sure that he is not just chilling on any resource that we may stop. Let's do this. Mm-hmm. Okay. There we go. He is now trying to invest a little bit more there. I need to get more horses. Okay, boys, let's go again this side. Yeah, let's just turn around here. And a few more archery ranges will be very necessary. Alright, boys. Except for you guys. Let's go. Oh, so with him being on this many TCs, it does start to get quite annoying. Come on, boys. Perfect. Perfect. And now we have all our upgrades. I am gonna get these two. Mm-hmm. May the best horse archers win. Okay. You boys, let's go back into his base again. You brothers, let's just ensure he doesn't get any other resources. Now, I have enough units here to ensure we shut down every bit of eco he can ever dream of. Ha ha ha! We did it! Rus versus Rus, baby! That's what I'm talking about! Oh. Well, bot, that is a lot of information for this. I am so happy. Okay, I can't play Rus on this account anymore, though. This is... We know that Rus was not the way to go. The Rus is a little bit busted. Diamond 2. We're getting there. Okay. But there were a few moments. There were a few moments when things got a little hairy. So, I think when I also attacked him and equalized it a bit, I didn't realize he didn't only kill this many. It was never in doubt. What can I say? I want to go stalk him, though. Okay. Give me 1 second. Where is the scenario? Cool. And let us roll into the next one. You were never in doubt. Secret Beef, you are the biggest believer in all of this, and I really appreciate that. Because sometimes when I don't believe in myself, I know I always will have Secret Beef to carry me through. The secrets that keep us together. Very nice. Now, I can't play Horse Archers again. That would be illegal. But after this, I gotta go. I have plans with Mr. Cutie. We are going to look at our house. We actually now we got some furniture, and it's very nice. It's very, very nice. It's so good to have a house with not just an air fryer and not just a kettle. We actually have other things in the house too. It's pretty wild. I'm like, oh my god, there's other things in the house? Okay, so I'm gonna do a little Malians, not because I'm good at it, but because we need to get better. So, in this economy, well, we'll see if the cow economy does the speaking, girl. Now, actually, that's a good point. This economy, in the world where there's KT, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I'm a little bit worried that we just get a bunch of KT abusers, because then what? Japanese. Ooh, love that. I suck against Japanese. Congratulations on graduating to adulthood. When do I get my cap? I did not need to do this wrong, but I did it wrong anyway, and I haven't keybound my scout today. Oh, goodness. Okay, so this scouting is going to look a slight bit inefficient, mostly because we need to go see what the hell this man is going to be doing. Because when you are playing against Japanese, there's one thing they love to do, and that is be pretty damn sneaky when it comes to Dark Age shenanigans. So I would like to know if Dirtus, Japanese player, the amount of aggressive scouting I just saw out of him tells me that he is cooking something. Oh, boys, they're right here. He is going for the units. Okay. I don't know if I go for units as well. Probably. I don't know. I don't think I can efficiently trade against this. Maybe not. Maybe not. I'll just be a little bit smarter about this. You guys, right over here. It does feel a little iffy. I don't know what the answer is. Especially against Japan, where Japan, they get to make samurai in Dark Age, and Donzos can do what they want, but they're not going to trade effectively against samurai. So, yeah, I don't think that will be the answer for us today. I guess we just age up. When you start covering your furniture in plastic, oh, we actually did do that for a while. So maybe that is part of adulthood. No. Dirtus. You apply some dirty strategies. I'm gonna get one of my villagers out here so I can go fix. And with 12 on food, I should actually have more than enough. Thank you. All right. Interestingly enough, I actually have an idea. I don't know what you guys think about this, but I'm thinking about doing this. Okay. Now, hear me out. Hear me out. I know this is not necessarily the best landmark, but it secures gold. It will give me my gold per minute. Fast age up with a few hundred for safaris. I like that idea. I like that idea a lot. Okay. Yeah, that's a pretty good idea. I don't think he's... Yeah, he's not gonna notice. Oh shit. Oh no. Okay, that was definitely worth it for him. Damn. You more on food here? Let's go. Now, what I do from here on out, it might seem a little bit wrong, right? But I feel like this could be the right move for me. Let's go. I would like to be a greedy goose, actually. I've decided on the goosery, and the goosery is in session. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me go and be a Musafari boy. We need to see what you are aging up with. Okay. There we go. Perfect. Alright, ladies. Are we gonna get ourselves a pro scouting, or what's the situation? Boys, deliver. Okay, and he's still got that many on gold. That means we're gonna be doing some shenanigans. Oh, no, actually. Let's leave it. We're gonna go get our stable soon. Okay. Oh, fuck off. Just deliver. Okay. I think I can afford another one. Let's keep running them forward. So he has to make archers, and he cannot just sit in his base and relax. Okay. Okay. Oof. I can't believe this motherfucker's on gold. Damn it, man. Should have known. Okay. Ooh, definitely need to get another one of these. And could I potentially get another scout voice? Scout, there we go. Okay. Okay, you go back in here. We have a few more of you guys. Okay, he's going fast castle from here on out. Whew. Now that's interesting. I think we just keep making units. And I don't know, I have no idea. I don't know if I actually have the time to just make units. I have no idea. Oh, thank you, Ben Metal. I appreciate it. We start feudal trading? Now that would be fun. See, that's my kind of game. That's the kind of enthusiasm I'm looking for in my Twitch chat. Okay. Okay. And now we have some food coming on in. That's wonderful as well. Alright, and I think with this amount of cowing, we should be okay. Okay. Now I should probably keep making units, as I'm kind of just letting my units idle, which is not ideal. It's ideal. It's idle, but not ideal. There we go. I'm so funny. Okay. Let's go. And you boys, we are now just going to need to make more production, yes. Okay. Oof, it feels pretty rough here. I'm just gonna make a few more scouts because I can see that that might benefit me. Okay. Let's undo some of these cows. Okay. Alright, boys. Okay. Okay. Ooh, those boys are gonna be spicy, but now the fun also begins. Okay. Okay, more of these guys. We definitely need a lot more wood. Keep making units. Okay. Okay, that's a lot of them. But he keeps going for those, which is a little bit worrying. Okay, perfect. Whew. Okay, now these guys are gonna be extra nice. Let's go get this. Go back. He's just making more. Alright. So weird how he's doubling down on this. Careful back. Yeah, please. Moreunits.com. Oh my god. Okay, perfect. Now we should possibly also think about some other forms of income here. You boys doing great, love that for you. Oh, that is so many of them. I don't know, is there a point where they actually do better? Because he seems to be believing in them. Okay, so first let's go. Let's go and destroy him. Gonna get a few more scouts here too. Okay. I think we're just gonna keep making units and it should be all good in the hood. Get a few more over here. Because my cow economy is looking really decent. Okay. Still, he seems pretty confident in this. Let me get this one too. Okay. Keep making units. That feels so strange. I have no idea what he's doing. Is it just like that samurais usually work for him and then he's like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna keep doing this. Because this always works for me. Probably. Go back for a second here. Let's go. Here, boys. I mean, I think this is a one-dimensional thing that he keeps doing. And it works against some people. Yeah, let's go and kill him. Ooh, hello, brothers. Let's quickly get ourselves relics. Oh, yes! One-dimensional comp, baby. It doesn't always work. We did it. Ilalu! Can we believe it? Ilalu! Maybe he just gave me false confidence, but honestly, I think this landmark was probably the best choice I could have made. Against this composition. Why just samurai against Malians? That's what I'm wondering as well. I have no idea what the thinking process was behind this. It did not make any sense to me, but this is the Malian eco kicking in. And I think he, on his fish, he did pretty well. But the early cows definitely worked quite a bit. I just want to check this. So he was ahead with the food gathered because of the fish. But the fish eventually runs out. And he was ahead for a while. But when I hit castle, it just kind of skyrockets from there. Because his fish will eventually run out. I don't know. I obviously think there's a lot of stuff I should have done differently. Like I should have been a little bit more here. Should not have moved my whole army. I also stopped professional scouting for some reason. And yeah, there's a lot of things to improve, but I'm a little bit confused about the choice that he made going samurais only against Malians. And it's because of you guys, Twitch chat, that I just made Musafadis, and I appreciate that. Okay, anyway. I am cooked. It was a quick in and out. I just wanted to cast a few games in the on the Noob Cast so that I can give my editor some work before he flies to Serbia. So guys, my editor is flying to Serbia in 2 days, and I'm so excited because I can't wait for him to be here because he's like a real life friend as well. So it's definitely going to be a lot of fun, and then we fly to Denmark for the LAN. So yeah, definitely going to be a big one. But I have to give him some work to do so he can suffer tomorrow as well. But anyway, thank you guys for joining, and thank you for coming to the Noob Cast and letting me make my content that I need for YouTube. And I'll see you guys probably tomorrow.